Good day, everybody. Good day, good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are. Good evening. Uh, Today is November 26, 2024. It's good to be back on the closing argument. Uh, we are about to. Benjamin Jonah, where are you, brother? Send me your message so I can send you the link quick. Because I tried sending this to you. I'm not friends. I don't know why. But send me it. Shoot me a message so I can send you the link. Well, it's good to be back on the closing argument. It's good. And everybody, wherever you are, I want to say good day. Hope you are doing well. If you are in the U.S., I know you are getting, especially on the East Coast and other areas, you are getting ready for the Thanksgiving, the biggest holiday in America, as I've seen it. It's a day of reflections and Thanksgiving. So we look forward to celebrating the Thanksgiving on Thursday. They call it the Turkey Day here, but I'm not into that turkey business. But all of you guys who will be celebrating Thanksgiving, people started traveling. Travel starts tomorrow. This is a time families in America meet and have their family togetherness, and they travel from miles. So you have family members, they all travel to one person's state and meet, and they break bread together and do everything possible to make sure that they are all together. In Liberia, Thanksgiving is we celebrated already. It's different. But on Thursday, millions of Americans will be celebrating Thanksgiving throughout the country. The President Biden will do the tradition on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. He will give the he will. You guys say you guys are hearing me? They say that the guys say not hearing me. You guys hearing me? Please let me know if you're hearing me. Please let me know if you're hearing me. Please. Okay, they're hearing me. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So yes. Let me just recognize those who on already. We have George Watkins Jr. following from District 3, Monserrato. We have Aisha Pa. We have Di Maria, Emmanuel Blay, Benjamin Jonah. Where are you? Please check out with Eugenia. She will send the link because that's how I can get to you. Anthony Gay, if you want the link, hit me up. Matthew Guar, Di Maria, Coffee Pinky Kofina. Yes. Otaku Kau, watch from Maryland. Okay, guys. As I said, this tomorrow is traditional. Welcome Prince Tode Jada from 21st Street, Fiamma. Cassie Johnson, watching from Cotton Tree. Wow, Lower Magibi. Cassie, that way I grew up around that era in Cotton Tree. But in Habet Place, now about 10 minutes or 20 minutes walk from where you are, where I grew up in Habet Place. Wow. But tomorrow is the President Biden will do the traditional. He will spare the turkey. He will spare the turkey tomorrow. And then on Thursday, but on tomorrow, most of the offices will close by 12 midday, and we'll start shopping for and Thanksgiving is the beginning of the holiday season in America. Then the next day, which is Friday, is the Black Friday. Since I've been in this country, I did it one time. I will never do it again. It's a complete BS. You get up soon in the morning, around 5 o'clock in the morning. You go for Black Friday, the cold, you chilling with the cold on you. kind of found out the same thing you get it for Black Friday, you can get it the next day. You get it. It's a waste of time. I don't even attempt to do it anymore. I don't even do that. So it's a waste of time. But they call it Black Friday. Things that there's someone goose they make it so cheap for you to buy it. People use it to buy their Christmas gifts, but I'm not into that stuff. You won't see me leaving my house soon on Friday morning to go for Black Friday in a cool baby. I'll be chilling on my blanket. Yes, but so yes, Thursday will be a big day. People will be all over the place, eating and dining and whining, and those who have beef with people, they use that occasion to mend the differences and so forth. They're gonna start telling you sorry, and reconciliation starts from there. But that's it. That's the American biggest holiday, Thanksgiving. In fact, the airport will be packed all over the country. I'm told that millions of Americans, over 100 million Americans, will be traveling all over the U.S. Cars will be all over with planes, and then people are traveling by road. It's a big event in America. If you're not in the States, you come to America on Thanksgiving. I went to do all the traveling and the big travel time. If you travel somewhere, if you go in places like North Carolina or Virginia or Rhode Island, from where I am in Pennsylvania, I would advise you leave on tomorrow. Not even tomorrow. I would advise you leaving today, leave tonight, or leave early tomorrow morning. Leave early tomorrow morning to go, because the traffic alone, for me, I'm not a driving type. I love to fly. The farthest I would drive would be maybe 4 hours. Some people who drive 10 hours, 12 hours, I give them credit. I salute them. I don't take that chance. I don't drive that. I'll fall asleep on the wheel, man. I don't. People are state troopers. They can drive state to state. I know people who can drive very well. There are certain guys that I can be in a car with them and they drive me anywhere. I will sleep. I will move. I'm Croman, Charles Myers, and Henry Papa Cassell. These guys can drive. I respect their driving. I get them credit for driving. Got some females that can drive too. Oh yeah, got women that can drive. All they want to do, they play the music, and you can follow. They will take you anywhere. You know, yeah. So that's what happens. But well, guys, let me first of all, before we go further, let me call the closing argument correspondent in Liberia, Samson Mosere, who will be giving us updates what happened today in the country. Samson Mosere will be called. I'm calling him now. Give an update what happened in the country. He will give us what happened in the country. You give an update. At the same time, we want to say again, we want to appeal. We are collecting any kind of a donation for our guys in Liberia for the holiday season. $5, $10, nothing is small. Little and much, and God is in it. So we want to be a blessing to them. We did it last year. We did it one thing. We did it for them 26 and Christmas. We did it for them. They were all happy. The families were happy. Yeah, we'll catch up. There's Zelle information up there. We want to give this money to the guys by the 23rd of December. So anything you get, whether that's $5, $10, you can cash up it or Zelle it to the numbers up there. Let's make our guys in the studio happy. Let's bless their families in Liberia. It's rough in Liberia. And you won't believe it. Most of the guys that you see, they are not on payroll like you and myself in America or in other developed countries. They're not on payroll. At least we were in America. Some of us get paid every 2 weeks. And those people getting, most jobs will pay people if they're taking pay Friday, they will pay them tomorrow because they want to go shopping for holiday. That's one thing I know about this country. So tomorrow, if your pay day is Friday, you get your direct deposit going in your account by tonight, because they want you to have your pay to go to take part in the holiday, in the Thanksgiving. So that's what happened. So please, please, help these guys, contribute towards it. The Zelle number is there, 678-438-3003. Cash App is the $ TCA 2500. Don't be afraid, don't be ashamed. Any amount, we appreciate it. Give to the guys. We want to bless them in Liberia. So that, like, right now is about 10 o'clock in Liberia in the night. Now, the guys, one of the guys just told me just now, one of the guys who presented the show for us, he's suffering from cold. Now, and the young kid would be there, or Myean would be there. Myean is still in high school. He comes from school and stop there and do his work before he goes home. So now 1 o'clock in the morning. So people see them every time. They want to be a blessing to their family. So if you bless them through this closing argument, you will get 1,000 reward. In the meantime, let me contact our correspondent in Monrovia, who will give out update what's happening in the country, what happened today, what's expected to happen tomorrow. Let me call him now and we hear from him. So while Lincoln Collie, you want to join, send me an inbox and we'll join us. It's a public platform. So yes, guys. Again, before I continue, please contribute to these guys. Be a blessing to them. Let us bless them. We have from now to the 23rd of December. By the 22nd, we want to be done so we can send it out to them by the 22nd so they can have the 23rd and 24th to do the shopping. Whatever they want to do for their families. Most of the people buying, it's not like before. We were growing in Liberia. We want to wear our Christmas clothes, but this time, it's not what happening nowadays. Samson, you there?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, so I will now turn it over to Samson Mansure, the closing argument correspondent in Liberia. You notice on our page, he's the one who always updating the page. He's in Liberia. He's very busy, hardworking young man, and he's a guy we're trying to get him a motorcycle maybe by early next year for him to be able to crisscross. Because sometimes when he's at Capitol building, they say something happened at the mansion, he had to run there. Something happened at the Ministry of Information, he had to go there. So, and all about getting on a motorbike to do it, getting somebody to drop in there quickly. And so we'll get him a motorbike, he'll be able to go faster. And maybe in the future we can get more to be able to help him because it's a tough work on him. Very tough work on him. Nico, my man, I'm not gonna go in my email business. I'm far from email right now though. Right now, email is not. I'm going to email. But let's hear from Samson Mansure. Samson, you live on the closing argument. Tell us about the developments in Monrovia for today and what's happening tomorrow. What's going to happen tomorrow, and what we expect to see in the ongoing speaker removal impasse. What's going on? Go ahead, you live.
So thank you, Chief Tomalin. Was another hectic day for us in Liberia, also in Liberia, where we had to be at two different places at the same time to bring updates. So today we saw another session hosted by the majority bloc. They actually violated the Supreme Court order, where the Supreme Court said 2 days ago, the Supreme Court released a notice that all members of the House of Representatives to return to status quo ante. But today, the majority bloc hosted a session in violation of the Supreme Court notice. But then in that session, something very interesting and and alarming occurred. We did not see the presence of the Deputy Speaker, who happened to be Deputy Speaker Tokma Fala. He was not present, and there was no communication stand in for excuse. Normally, when you as a lawmaker, you are not attending regular session to keep the communication on the floor through the Deputy Chief Clerk, putting in an excuse as to why you will not be present in session. But this was not seen today. And we also, apart from him, we also have 7 other persons who were not present in session. So today, the total number of people that were in the majority block session was 37 persons. That includes Deputy Speaker Tomo Fala, Sinan Norman, and DJ Blue. DJ Blue came in right after the majority bloc hosted that session. And today, Sinam Norman, who joined the majority bloc last week, came back to the speaker side. We posted a video on the closely argument page. He came back on. He said his purpose of joining the majority bloc was to give the speaker due process and bring it to the chamber for the speaker to have a due process. But he's back on board with the speaker. Today we also saw President Weah a meeting which purposely went for. President Weah met with some member of the majority bloc, and not just member of the majority bloc, but seditionists who are supporting Speaker Kofa for him to remain speaker. But then some are saying that why Honorable Yega Koluba was present in that meeting. He's not a sedition. Yes, he's not a sedition, but then he also a member of the opposition bloc. So Honorable Yega Koluba was present in that meeting, and Representative Samuel Eno were also in that meeting. And today, we also expected that Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala could meet with former President George Mann. Unfortunately, the meeting was postponed to a later date, but it is expected to be done before Thursday. And the intent of that meeting is reconciliation. President Weah is saying that he wants to reconcile his team, his base, especially seditionists who are for the removal of Speaker Kofa. He's trying to bring them back to the side of Speaker Kofa. So on Tuesday, if everything occurred the way he's working on it, if everything goes fine, we expect a massive convoy from rehab straight to Capitol building, where Thomas Fala, Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala and Speaker Kofa will be in that same convoy. But he's working on it to see how best he could have the two sides reconcile. On yesterday, we saw the U.S. embassy, the ambassador for the U.S. had a meeting with President Weah. The conversation of that meeting was to see how best President Weah can help settle the dispute that is currently ongoing at the ground of the Capitol building. But then, some critics have it that why U.S. ambassador decided to reach out to President Weah instead of the sitting president, President Joseph Boakai. So the U.S. embassy released a picture, official picture, with the U.S. ambassador and President Weah. And in a caption, the law should be respected, the rule of law should be respected. With that caption, and it shows that the U.S. embassy believes in former President George Weah when it comes to peacekeeping and reconciliation.
Well, thank you, Sansi. But let me ask you a question. Did you say the deputy speaker, he was in a session with the majority black today or not?
He was absent today without any communication sent for as to why he was absent.
Okay, I saw you earlier today running behind what the guy needs, Norman, and Norman told you that you waited after the Supreme Court ruling. I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, so Norman is currently with Speaker Kofa. So when I asked him, are you back? Finally, to the speaker side, he said, we are here to await the Supreme Court ruling. But then, for another representative who is having a bit, Representative Eugene Colley of Bon County, responded saying he's back with us.
Wow. Well, so I know I'm also informed that the reason why the former president, did not make the trip to the Capitol was because they're waiting for the Supreme Court ruling, which is the Supreme Court supposed to hear. According to my understanding, is that the Supreme Court supposed to listen to both sides tomorrow. Yeah, what I'm told. Let me just get it quickly and share with the people what I was informed. I'm told that I was told that they said there will be no hearing before the Supreme Court. Okay, rather the Attorney General, which is Justice Minister, he will provide a written legal opinion on the side of the law. And then while the majority block, they will also file their answer in response, which will be done by, I think, Councilor Vani Sherman. Then,
yes,
after that, the Attorney General of the Supreme Court will then set a date for the arguments and issue a notice of assignment to have all parties appear in person to argue the respective side of the matter. After all the arguments from both sides, the court will be immediately ruled, give the opinion, and set a date aside to render the opinion. That's the process that will be going by. Now, either they will, the Supreme Court they usually don't give a verdict, they usually give opinions in legal issues. And now we're hearing that this majority block they violated the Supreme Court writ of prohibition, calling on them to stop all activities and until the ruling, until the opinion is rendered. But then they went today ahead to have some meeting. They call it meeting. That's not session. They call it meeting. So but you ask some of them why they were violating the Supreme Court order. What did it say?
So in conversation with some of them, according to them, let me be precise. According to Representative James Collet, he said the Supreme Court does not have the right to tell them what to do because the Constitution was clear when it comes to separation of power. So they are exercising their constitutional right and duty as lawmakers. So the Supreme Court cannot tell them what to do. So they are doing, as far as they're concerned, they are on the rest side of the law. That's the reason they are having session and they are doing a Liberian people business.
Well, let me welcome my colleagues, Johnny, KM, and Debbie, and the new progressive Sylvester Pewee. Two powerful Liberians of this generation, very sophisticated. They know the issues, they understand the dynamics of Liberian politics, the dialectics and everything of Liberian politics. They know, understand it. Johnny ran before, and Pewee too. He's been involved with political stuff. When Pewee fire, people can get react right away. But Johnny,
the great Johnny,
you got a question for Sounds Good. Let's go.
Johnny must start. So for my start, last time you the Bible made
Johnny,
you left.
Any question for Samson before we let him go?
No. I mean, I think something is okay. Thank you, Samson, for the information provided to the public. You did well. Keep up a good job, and we hope that you will have more access to the policy makers to keep the brain people informed through this medium. Thank you.
Pewee.
Thank you, sir.
Oh yes, yeah. Let me say thank you to Samson. Actually, he's just more detail.
Okay.
That's most of the question, and let me salute him for being part of the bastion of communication back in our country.
Who kicked the progressive chief off? What happened, progressive?
The journalist community are just when he came out. You hear me?
Oh, we hear what you say.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Can you hear me?
We hear you now. Go ahead. Pewee, you finished?
Hello?
Yeah, Pewee frozen or what? Pewee, waiting for you.
No, I having some internet issue again from.
They mean in advanced country, in the most advanced country where the internet was found out. So I'm expecting you, but anyway, you'll come back. But anyway, something. So before I let you go, so tomorrow we expect them to go to the court tomorrow, right?
Yeah, so tomorrow they will be at the court. On today they presented all of their evidence they get. It was 5. The speaker block presented their evidence, and then the majority block presented their evidence to the Supreme Court today. So tomorrow we expect the first conference to be heard between the two blocks.
So how many persons left the majority block to go back to Kofa?
So I don't want to throw on the bus, but I can just say one for now. But we get information that there are many that are expected to be back to the speaker block.
Okay. So something we want to say thank you and thank you for doing a good job. I saw you today. You're all in your closing argument. Yes, you're reporting like a CNN reporter. I saw you were live when the speaker were arriving and the other people were arriving. You were live and you are the Ministry of Information today. Did you attend the Information Ministry press briefing today too?
Yes, so I was at the Ministry of Information. So today we went at the Ministry of Information and then the press briefing was briefed by the Deputy Speaker, the Minister Daniel Sano. He informed the public that he was getting some position of the government and updates from the government. He told the public that the Ministry of Information they use for data as in the Ministry of Information building. He also spoke about it when he said the president trip to Sierra Leone to build a mutual relationship between the current president of Sierra Leone, President Mala Bealded, and President Joseph Boakai ahead of the United Nations General Assembly. And it is also a campaign strategy for Liberia to give Sierra Leone support in the United Nations General Assembly Security Council seat. But then when he was asked about the AU, the African Union endorsed the candidacy of Liberia for that position. So if it was the sole intent of President Boakai to go and campaign, why did he even go and campaign to Sierra Leone after the EU, the AU, the African Union endorsed the candidacy of Liberia? He said the person who asked the question was the anti-government supporter, and he cannot give that kind of question. As far as people say, Sierra Leone is an important country in Africa, so President Boakai had the right to go and visit and re-campaign even with EU support.
Okay, thank you so much, and we'll be safe out there. Keep on making the sacrifice for your country and for everyone. It will get better one day. So look forward to that. But so thank you, and get some rest. And I know you'll be back on your feet tomorrow. When you are working tomorrow, we'll be sleeping. So go and get your rest. Okay, take care, brother. Okay, bye. Well,
yes, sorry, man. I have some technical glitches.
Benjamin Jonah, I don't see. I hear from you. I can't see you there. But let me see. Well, guys, we back. I don't think we'll talk much on this issue of the speaker business because right now we know it's in the court now. All sides are showing their true colors, so we know what's up now. We're waiting. Looking forward to the court. What happened to the court tomorrow? We know what's going to happen tomorrow. So, but what are your thoughts before we move on? What are your thoughts so far?
I should go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I think, as you stated just now, basically will be what the legal people would term pre-DDC, where we to go to dive into a wide is in court. I don't know, got the Supreme Court already instructed that we should be right to settle court and take. So until all of the parties, all part of the party litigants can file their returns. So we hope, and I will be, I want to respect that process, though I may not be held in contempt if I were to discuss it because I'm not a legal person, but it also makes sense. Yeah, basically, yes, the meaning of that is we cannot poke into it when it's already in front of the court, where it's pending, there's a pending outcome from this case. But it's good that all the party litigants are now being told to submit their returns, and we anticipate the returns and then subsequent deliberation on those issues. But my basic concern here is that I'm disappointed because I'm seeing today the the agenda for today's business of the so-called majority bloc, and it's saying here that the 12-day sitting of the third quarter of the first sections of the Honorable House of Representatives, the 55th Legislature, Republic of Liberia. I'm seeing here the Tuesday, the 26th, 2024 of November, agenda, section call to order, prayers, roll call, reading, correction, amendment, and adoption of agenda. Call for petitions, call for special committee report, blah blah blah. Then they get it something of issue on speaker business on speaker decks. Now today on the major agenda they had their communication from the Liberian Senate forwarding for the House of Representatives concurrence of what we call engrossed bill 1 and 2 entitled an act to amend the maritime law. All those things they said they went on. So there was basically two agendas here on that issue. The reason why I'm trying to highlight this is in complete defiance and disobedience to the highest court of our country. This is not a good precedent that we try to set, particularly the lawmaking body. If you are supposed to be the lawmaking institution of our country, and the basis, you should also be the guarantor of democracy. Meaning you are the backbone of our country democracy. It's important that we listen. Now, sometimes the court instruction, and the reason why the court even said we should revert to status quo ante, that's the default position of the court. That will always be the default position of the court. Whenever those kind of issues are unfolding, the court will give a default position. That does not necessarily mean that the speaker is right for what he and his side, they are right for what they did. The court will always, there's this process too many in law. The court will always believe that it is proper for more than 100,000 guilty folks to go free than to convict an innocent individual. So that's a maxim. That's part of the reason why the court will always give kind of a default position, say, hey, revert to this line until the court will hear from both sides. After the hearing, the court shall have now come out with a conclusion to this process. So I thought that was a blatant, it's a blatant violation of the law. It's a punch. It was a litmus test to those lawmakers, to the process about the reflection and respect of the rule of law and democracy. I thought they failed today. The fact that they did not allow that process of the rule of law to kick in and exhaust it to the maximum position. And I want to believe it's part of the process that the speakers try to test, and he believed that we have violated all these things. But it's unfortunate, actually. And I think we should condemn them for what they did today.
Yeah, welcome, Benjamin, Jonah, and Johnny. I think what you just said, Pewee, some people will try to test, people. Maybe Johnny, I know you understand civil is good. Maybe you explain that part to us, the people. When they say we have three separate, distinct but coordinated branches of government, tell us, please. I want you to just explain what it means. Tell us, because the guys they don't understand that. They also, in our same constitution, it says that Supreme Court is the final arbiter of legal disputes in the country. Whenever there's an issue where the constitution is in argument,
Article 65. Article 65. The final arbiter of
Yes, they also interpret it when we're having confusion. You say, you're interpreting what the constitution says. But so please explain, maybe go further there.
I mean, thank you, Tomalin, and good evening and good morning to everyone wherever you are. My brother Benjamin and my own brother and traditional uncle Pewee. Let me say thank you for holding on the show. I'm sorry that I've been out. I mean, my job has been keeping me very busy with a lot of things running around, making sure that our projects are in full swing. But I mean, like I always say on this show regarding this whole issue of the legislature, Firstly, I've condemned this whole action because I see it as people who do not respect the Liberian people. They do not respect the people that elected them into those offices. They do not respect their their employers. You understand? Because this country has serious problems to address. We are chasing people that have gone ahead of us that are also behind. So, we are behind those that are behind. So if we are to focus on what to do for our country to improve our country's health, education, security, infrastructure, I mean, basic things for our people to have better living condition. We leave that aside and get into, I call this what trivial politics. You know, it has no value to Liberian society. Their action has no value. So sometimes I don't even want to be bothered whether they are going Supreme Court or not. That's, at this point in time, we should not be at this point discussing about Supreme Court. We should be discussing where are we since our conflict ended 2003 to 4. We've gone 20 years. We should be looking back. What have we achieved? 20 years. We should be showing something to the rest of the world that came to our aid to get us out of the armed situation. But we are still here going back, like we're taking steps back. We're not looking behind. We're just walking back, looking ahead, but walking behind. So look, our Liberian constitution says we have three branches of government. We have a republic. These three branches, they are separate agencies to work in the best interest of the Liberian people, not in the best interest of they that function in those capacity or those offices. And that means whatever happens in the lower house or the upper house or the legislature should be done in the interest of the Liberian people. Whatever happens at the executive should be in the best interest of the Liberian people. Whatever happens at the judiciary should also be interest of the Liberian people. Then we have a wholesome, functioning rule of law system of governance in this country. In as much as no one branch can interfere into the other one's function, it also has its own little bit of limitation. Because in the spirit of a constitution, it's not to say that you are to work totally independent of the other. You should work together in coordination. That is why before this thing broke up a few months back, the president had a meeting with his counterparts in the sense the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judiciary. That meeting was held to look at the issues. How can they coordinate to serve the Liberian people under the current condition we are? So to see that those that are in that office or those that should be to move our country forward will not even recognize the provisions of the Constitution, but decide to add the children, that are like, I don't know how to even describe them. And like what you're hearing, somebody went today to this side, or I went today on the other side. That's complete irresponsible attitude. I mean, I can tell them for a fact because right there on the show, I told Musa about the same thing because we employ you. So we are your employer. We should be telling you what to do. We should get angry with you and tell you things. And you should take our anger in good faith and do what is right for us. So the three branches of government are not enemies to each other. It's done to make sure we have a check and balance. For example, whenever the budget is passed, which is the national cake, the national agenda, once it is passed, the executive is responsible to execute the budget. The legislative branch of government is responsible to checkmate and ensure that whatever was passed be done into that budget is done according to how the budget was laid out. Simple as anybody can understand. The judiciary is there to ensure that when we have issues of the law where we don't understand what's happening, we go to the judiciary to interpret our laws. The very laws that are passed by the legislator or by legislative corporation government is what the judiciary should be interpreting to every one of us. So, I mean, Tomalin and my brothers, actually, I've just decided not to be bothered with you guys at this action because I don't think, from all my practical assessment, I don't see how all of these things will benefit Liberia. In my view, it's taking us backward without making progress. And we on the show should not even find it as a matter of interest, the red talking like we're taking side with each other. I don't care whether Kofa side or whoever side. The fact that this legislative branch of government, the lower house, this area for almost 2 months, it's a shame on us as Liberians that have come from armed conflict. We have been brought together to reconcile and begin to move ahead to build our country. Imagine all the young people all the people that were born 2003, 2004. How old are they? What are they experiencing left up to current? Now they see such thing occurring. What are they learning to become tomorrow's leaders? So, frankly speaking, colleagues, this issue is actually a non-issue for me, but that's what we have on our hand. These are the people we elected in 2023 to be our representatives and whatever. So that's what they are. I hope this process will also educate us moving forward as to who we elect into those offices to represent us. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear from Benjamin Jonah. We will not talk too much on the issue today because we wouldn't. The Supreme Court now, everything is in the hands of the Supreme Court now, so we can talk a lot of other stuff. Yeah, but we won't hear your own perspective.
Yeah. Let me just brush over it. So I think this is the second time that you guys have defied the Supreme Court. The last time again, the same thing, the same order was placed, and they did not regard it. My problem here is that in the kind of instances, what does the Supreme Court do? I mean, the Supreme Court don't have police. They don't have police to go and say, but you can put up a statement stating when someone does something wrong. But when there's a violation and you don't do anything about it, it's that I think it emboldens that person who crossed the line. So I think that there should have been something that this was not the first time. This is the second time this thing has happened. And I just wish that you say something when these things happen. That's all I gotta say about this whole thing.
Okay. Before we go on the next, let me just say, in fact, the Liberian Senate, I will just read it and we'll move on. The Liberian Senate also weighed in today. They said the Senate leadership has decided not to submit any legislative instruments to the House or Representatives until the ongoing court proceedings are resolved. This decision was reached during a leadership meeting held before the start of the Senate session. In response to the public reports suggesting that the Senate has resumed legislative business with the majority, senators clarified that this is not the case. They explained that the legislative instruments were submitted to the chief clerk's office and received by the acting clerk, who subsequently communicated with the majority. The most recent legislative instruments include the SIPO Decentralization Act and the Maritime Law, among others. So, that we're all saying right now.
Okay. Yeah, but Tomalin, before you continue, because I'm looking here, from the agenda today, they put the act of the issue of the maritime law today. That was part of their agenda today. So now the Senate this disclaimer from the Senate now is saying that they send it to the chief clerk office, right?
Yeah, yes.
And the acting chief clerk is the one that submits. So I buy into what the Senate is saying is true. The chief clerk is on the self-imposed sick leave. The acting chief clerk is with the majority block.
Let
me not say self-imposed. They post that because they both sides want the chief clerk to represent, to come over, and the chief clerk that brought some right, and she's not well, so she's out on leave. So the acting chief clerk now is the one, and the rest of the secretariat, they operating down with the majority block. So I see where they went there and they presented.
But here is why I'm not buying it. I mean, this is why I'm not buying it. They know when the vice government officials went over there, the Kofa group had a problem with it, and they even went to court. So you already know that there's a problem here. You know, thing to the chief clerk, the deputy chief clerk will receive it. So they should have known that. They should have known it would end up in these guys' hands, and these guys are going to play politics with it. And that's exactly what they did. If I were on the side, we would have done the same thing. So I mean, that's all I have to say about that, man. Let's move on.
Yeah, gentlemen, look. Liberians are concerned though. This whole year, people consider it. I mean, I want to ask you individually. Take your time, at least 2 minutes. Let's give ourselves 2 minutes on our speaking time, so we can get much to be said today. But we have a whole year, 2024. I want to ask you, Johnny first, then we'll go to Pewee and go to Jonah. People are saying that the whole year was wasted. They have been wasted year. That nothing was accomplished this year. And other countries are moving. Look at Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is moving ahead of us. Guinea is being controlled by a military guy, but they are moving. And Guinea just got, I think Sierra Leone got the compact. Liberia was supposed to get 500 million. Auntie will get it. But so, Johnny, what's your thoughts about the whole year 2024? Do you consider a wasted year for our country and the government? I mean,
you know, yeah, Tomalin, well, look, I wouldn't say wasted, but it has just been a slow-paced movement of our
what accomplished, Johnny? What accomplished is there? What accomplished?
I'm saying we have been going slowly, and I almost, in my view, I think I see the for a year like the government is still being trying to set and find its bearing, which is very strange, which is a surprise for me to have, to experience that this government should not be trying to set its bearing while we are in the 9th month or 10th month first year regime, because this government came to power with all of the expertise, all of the accolades to provide governance. I mean, and in this first year, you still see that we are still struggling. Look, the government have had series of missteps, several. Started with yellow machine issue. The more recent one had a scholarship program. Is almost like a fiasco. You went to Canada for a meeting, nothing came out of that place. You've gone to the US 2 times. We still don't see the result from those meetings you had in the US. You went to China, you went to Korea. I mean, you've gone around in the last 8, 9, 10 months. The government has gone around pretty much close to 9 to 10 visits around the world. I mean, I don't know when will we begin to realize, the result of those visits, right? But even internally, just forming our government has been a problem. And we're going back and forth. Today we appoint Pewee as minister. In 2 hours, Pewee is withdrawn. In the next hour, we appoint Benjamin withdrawn. I mean, we just the entire first year was like try and error period, and that's why I keep saying I think the first year is like government trying to set its bearing. I don't think the government has formed its bearing yet as to how they want to direct or lead this country. I mean, foreign policy wise, we stay in limbo. I don't see a clear-cut foreign policy. Even our internal governance system still have issues. I don't see our clear, internal government policy as to how we move ahead with our local government activities in the country. So clearly, gentlemen, I think this year has just been a year of trying to find their footing, trying to set the bearing for moving forward. And that's why I always say the FY 2025 budget year is what I will begin to hold the government accountable to. Like, I want to see what is now budget, how it's going to affect the people's living condition, how it's going to improve education or move towards improving education, move towards improving our healthcare delivery system, move towards improving road connectivity, and everything else that affect the people's living condition, even agriculture. That is key to our economy that everyone has spoken about over the last 2-3 decades. I want to see how the FY 25 budget year we address agriculture. We need to have a serious system where we need to even improve our revenue collection. Right? Right now, we're pretty much close to $1 billion revenue collection. We need to go more than that. What can we put in place to increase our revenue collection? So, I mean, Tomalin, on the issue of in the first year, I can clearly say this first year is like a year of getting your feet on the ground and setting your bearing. Thank you.
Yeah, but before I go to Pewee, but we talk about asset recovery. Where is asset recovery today? We talk about the bosses from Ghana, like Nora, who just mentioned in the comment section. The bosses from Ghana. What happened to the bosses from Ghana? The yellow machines that came in the country. We talk about the corruption, all the prosecution. They were going after people to prosecute them for corruption. What happened? All these things. Nothing was accomplished. We haven't heard nothing. President set a committee to investigate the inauguration money. We haven't heard nothing from it. Set a money to the committee to investigate issue about the, how to call it, the soldier's wife, the disturbances. What happened? Nothing. So, Pewee, what you think?
Yeah, I think it being a very tumultuous first 10 to 11 months of this new administration. And I would think that a lot of misstep, a lot of slippages, and a lot of I don't know if I don't know what to push that. But the first and foremost, you just started cataloging all of those things, and I will help you continue to get to them item by item. First and foremost, the Yellow Mission process was a very terrible propaganda process they brought in. And the same happened to the past administration about the Igbo deal, right? When this issue came about and the rest of that. And I want to buy into some of the things Johnny said. Sometimes people are carried away when they're just hitting the line. We would think, but these are terrible missteps, a lot of them. If you went to the Yellow Mission process, the bosses saga, there was no anything that came positively to the people of the country, but more or less also, and the flagrant disregard to the rule of law is a very important aspect also. So I think a lot of things they missed on in this year alone, and they put into place most of those deals that we didn't see. The process about the bad public relation that came about, foreign policy process also about the Russia saga, to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs had to come time to time repeatedly trying to make some clarification and the rest of that. So I think this year 14 was terrible, and I will hope that you have someone, and one of the reasons I believe probably now they may have some chance to do some things moving forward in the new year. Now you have someone you brought in to head the government development agenda, who of course got the bullet puppet, I will refer to that. Gossipway Garguah may come probably to help change the agenda because he's one person that served before as budget director, former finance minister. This time he's coming now as Minister of Finance and Development Planning. He do have the bullet puppet to do a lot of things. He's well experienced, well versed, coming from the African Development Bank. I want to believe with his own injection and a new idea he will bring to float, he may just bring some positive change in the new year. The fact that he started making some progressive thought process about his intent to handle the development agenda of the country, structure some issues. My suspicion is that he's engaging now, currently moving around the globe, trying to lock horn with other international partners to ensure things will happen. And that's the kind of thing we want to see about the country. But the first 10 months were very tumultuous and were very unproductive also. And I think we should concentrate on what would now come in the new agenda process. And I wouldn't ready to bank on them that high on the most serious note. And I know folks wouldn't be pleased with my statement because it's the first year, if you will. I wouldn't in terms of moving the process forward, but I would think nothing yet unfolded. We will look forward to what's going to start moving forward to next year as we move through, because we're lacking on November soon. And then we're going to be moving into December and close the year period back to the process. But I thought the president would have to, some of the commitment the president even came out to say during a serious campaign commitment that would have been locked into his first 100-day deliverables. And when he said that there would have been no car being stuck in the mud in the country, that was woefully, that was a massive failure. Car got stuck across the 15 counties in our country, going towards, I will say, my in-law there, and on the southeast aspect, going towards our own North Lofa, going towards across the country, even Bapol going towards the end of that end and the rest of that. So that didn't materialize also. So I mean, and again, coupled with serious internal legislative fight that is also hampering the smooth operation of the government. So I mean, it's been a very terrible, I continue to repeat this, it's been a very dark time in terms of this. I believe that there's a lot of tough time we have. How can we leverage and maximize our potential to do other things? I would hope now that there will be a glimmer of hope. The fact that we have a new phase in this process that's going to come and introduce new system of development. Hopefully, with his new strategy, probably Garguah may just have to change something in the new year coming up. But let's hope and see what's going to unfold. I believe we can see some part, but this it being a very terrible day, terrible time for us, and we Liberians wouldn't sit because we're part of the process. That's our country. We all voted. We want to be, but we hope to wait quickly. About conclude here now. To wait for December, where we'll be giving our individual scorecard and the collective scorecard of the show. But I think December will come, so we're gonna be doing that. To be giving the A, the B minus, the F minus, the F or whatsoever. Johnny, laughing. I know you come with your scorecard, and everybody's gonna come with theirs. Then we're gonna give that. But I thought it was a very rocky period for this first 10, 11 months of the government.
Yeah, they came out with a lot of ambitious agenda. Though came out, hit the ground running. Talk about they were going to. The president said about the roads, and but then we having the problem of the road issue. Still a problem. Issue with the drugs. The president suspended the heads of the drug enforcement agency.
Exactly.
And for almost 6 months, and before he finally appointed, fired them. And then that was another issue, the drug issue. We don't know what the status of the drug issue. I'm Johnny can tell us maybe later on.
And one of our father also was talking about the issue about the police thing. They talk about the police boot and other thing. Okay. So these are all massive things they brought, big time issue. No, the person there, that's a very good point, right? So we need to take note of those things.
So now with all that, but we know they had the asset recovery. The guys were on the road taking people's cars and stopping taking people from their car. And they were going after everybody. They went after what they call the people. What they get company? They went after. Yeah, they were trying to, and they would arrest everybody. They would bring them to justice. Samuel Tuer came in the country through Robert's fee. He came on touch. Today the case is now. We're hearing the last time the government went to the court. I think last week, the judge was mad with them. They couldn't. They never came up prepared for that case. Yeah, now I'm hearing that case is about to be another black case, and things are not going to go the right way. But I can see that next year, when the president delivers his State of the Nation address, I can see a lot of scathing rebuke or response coming from the opposition. But again, so far this year, I've only seen two opposition. Just recently, I heard the other guys speaking of Simeon Freeman, but so I've been only President Weah and Cummings. I don't know when I've been talking so far. The other guys, from 15 parties we had, all the guys then gone.
We don't have but we don't have, and that's what I have to be mindful. I got to be okay around to see. I'm over the kind of system. But here's what I will say quickly. We really don't have the opposition in the country we have now. When CDC were in power, we had the ANC and the United Party very firm, and the CPP came together. For now, the opposition we have in the country would be CDC number one and the ANC. Let me call their name today so they can be the ANC. They are the two forces I see now. And the CDC is way in the lead, and the ANC is chasing CDC in our opposition bloc, right? But these are the two institutions in our opposition. But again, all the other people that election each time, the people coming to just get job in government. Those are not serious political parties. The only major political parties in the country today that's acting will be the ANC and the CDC currently. And these are the two, and those two parties may likely lack home to form a stiff resistance against this government 2029. And that's our submission.
Jonah coming, but if CDC and ANC come together, if they really come together for 2029,
they may just do that. And that's my suspicion.
It will be easy. It will be a strong.
Let's
Jonah.
For me, the way how I look at this government is that the first place they had a problem with appointments.
People were texting already about what people just said.
Oh yeah, they may lack home.
You're not sorry.
That's okay. There was a huge problem there, and one of the in 2024, maybe few of the good things the government did was having the 2024 budget to have gone through easily. I mean, the president was able to work his way through this legislature, and he had that one pass. Besides that, I'm not seeing anything really smooth going. Because when it comes to international engagement, they came to the U.S., they went to that summit in Dallas, They went to the UN assembly, and the president have traveled about 10 different times in 10 months, and absolutely nothing came from any of those things. And when it comes to domestic priorities, he talks about the roads, he talks about reducing the price of goods and increasing people's salaries. None of those things ever happened. You know, the issue about harmonization was something that they were going to come and do away with from day one. All those things are still on the book. And the reason why I'm so confused, things like harmonization, they were not laws that were done by the legislative body. So the president can do those things with a stroke of a pen. He cannot do all those things. Like what is he waiting for? Undo those things that George Weah did. Because you have argued if those things had passed through the legislature. Then you would say, this is law. It is very hard, for me to undo them. All those things, the free tuition, all those things. Why are they still on the board today? Only when you look at this government, it's just like a photocopy of CDC. Exactly what CDC was doing. I can tell the difference between what Garguah is doing now than was because they left the exact print that CDC left. They're still fighting the same thing. Like why? Why can't they be on their own? Do something. Show some differences when it comes to the level of corruption. Oh my God, they are just as corrupt as the CDC government used to be. Nothing have changed. Politics. People getting missing, people dying. All of these things are still happening. So then I ask myself, where's the change? I think the Liberian people will answer that for every one of us, but I don't see one. Thank you.
Yes. Ben, didn't you hear them saying that what we met here? Ben, you remember somebody said what we met here?
Oh yeah. That's a slogan now.
So how can you come to make the difference? Then you said that why I met here and that why I will continue doing that. Then why did you come to make the difference? Why did you come to make the change? But again, the Liberians are responsible in the process and decide what to do next time.
Look, you will see when when Trump gets in office, all the things that Biden used a stroke of a pen to put in, Trump will undo them day one. That's what government do. The ones are not favorable for you, the ones you ran your campaign on, things like immigration, Trump will undo all of them because Biden used a stroke of pen to get them in order, and Trump does not want them. He will use a stroke of pen and do all of them. The OPEC who have done the same thing. This whole free tuition thing.
Is he going to do it because it's in the best interest of the country, or he's doing it because he just tried to what I want to put it, trash it because it was done by his predecessor?
Are you talking about Trump?
Mm-hmm.
Waka. No, I think because those were the things that he ran on. Trump ran on those things. Waka ran on the same thing that people pay were being harmonized, that nurses' pays were being harmonized. So he said, look, when I get there, I will bring your pay back to what it used to be. So now, why can't you do it? Those things that we did not go to the House to put them to law. Just undo them and then carry the poor salary up. It's easy, Mr. President. Yeah, it's easy to do.
Yeah, that can be an instruction to your finance minister. Say, go ahead, do this, right?
But like somebody said earlier, it is true though. Okay, the first year in office, they just came up with that on a budget now, but just from the get go.
Yeah, that's what I said. The budget bash them too much of the
budget. But they say when the Christmas will be good, you will know from the eve, right? Already, say you ran on a change mantra, but the president, the vice president, the speaker, the deputy speaker, the pro tem, the five of them, their budget for the next year, $10.6 million for five of them.
But too many, I don't think that's what ambitious. The five top officials, 10.2.
If you look,
go look back into other budgets.
But you see, you said you were changing now. You said you're cutting down ways.
If that would include the presidency and including the EPS budget, all those things.
No, but Pewee,
No.
look at that budget.
Does
I
that
want you to
include the EPS, everything?
look at that budget, Pewee.
No.
If you claim the mentor to change,
No, it doesn't include EPS.
you claim the mentor to change, right? Pewee,
Okay.
that budget is, let me frank. So things on that budget,
That's why I asked the question. Well, good at Johnny answer.
you cut it down. And for instance, right? Don't forget now, they bought a bulletproof car for the president and vice president, $1.1 billion. I mean, do we need it right now?
We always had bulletproof car for the president.
Yeah, but the one that we are in Eleanor Road, what wrong with it?
That's the scene. What bulletproof?
Yeah, but it's still
But you come
around
and change now. You come and change, though.
No,
listen.
listen.
So guys,
I would vehemently no. Too many women.
No, that'd be friend. Now we talk about change.
I would vehemently disagree with you. The
I
change
mean,
does not come to where the president should be protected. No, the president.
I
would disagree with that.
I've seen the good thing about it. You are, for all of us, we went Liberia. We saw the car that the president was riding. I saw the car Ellen Road, car we are road. I saw it. These cars are still brand new. They still good. Number one. Number two. Look at next door Guinea. Look at the boy in Guinea there. About Ryan, old 20 about 10-year-old guy.
Have you seen that man? No. Have you seen that man recent guy Ryan?
Then Ryan, my man. I saw the man Jeep. I saw the one in Burkina Faso too. But Pewee, let me frank now. Pewee, you say you want to change.
But don't get me the program and tag me today.
No, but Pewee, you're free. You're free to speak. If you want to change, let me frank. Example, right? Mr. Cummings. Cummings has said it clearly. Cummings have become president.
Yeah, but
I will cut down. Yeah, go ahead.
Tomalin, one thing, right? Let me make specific reference to vehicle for the presidency.
You're defending here.
Go
ahead.
No, wait, man. You see, Tomalin, don't make the public to turn against us, please. This is a professional area.
Okay.
Tomalin. The president is the presidency is the conscious center of the state. We sitting here, even we hear say Kofa is sick and something happened to him, the country will not shake. If we say Jeremiah Kun had an accident, God forbid, the country will not shake. But if you get a call now, they say President Bokeh had this issue, the whole country will be concerned.
Very well concerned.
That is very well. So that is why when it comes to the presidency, you need to take care.
With his age, people be that concerned?
Of course.
Come again?
You're talking about his age. Even
With
the president,
his age,
the president, they will be concerned.
Of course, my man.
No,
And the president. Listen, what happened in the U.S. when Trump, when Joe Biden fell off from the COVID? Were you not concerned when Biden had COVID?
Everybody was concerned.
America was concerned about the president. They were concerned.
No. Here is why when a 50 years old man is sick.
No, okay, look.
We talk about ordinary men.
Benjamin.
No, that's not true.
But Benjamin,
Go ahead. Stop that.
Benjamin, let me the point, right? Benjamin, the presidency is linked to everybody in Liberia. The entire country is linked to the presidency. That is why the presidency must be taken care of an egg. I'm not saying this to support wasteful spending. I'm just saying when it comes to the presidency, need to protect the presidency to the fullest based on security, information, security, intelligence, security issues, right? But when it comes to the budget, you cannot tell me that a minister should be carrying a vehicle that worth $100,000 to ride.
No.
You cannot tell me that if you have a minister that will carry a vehicle, and fuel supply will be around 1,000, 2,000 gallons per month.
No.
That's complete waste. You know what I'm saying? You cannot. That's waste. You can't tell me the minister need $300 scratch card to make phone call. That's a waste.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Seriously. So. I mean, when it comes to the presidency, yes, we have to ensure that, and not even wasting. The presidency is based on security specs. So, for example, the vehicle that President Sirleaf used. Listen to me. I'm speaking from my background. The vehicle President Sirleaf used, if the security do the assessment, right? They do the assessment and realize that components, the functionality of that vehicle is diminishing in response to crime, in response to attack on the presidency, they will recommend a new vehicle. It may appear new in your eyes, but it may not be new in the context of security. You understand what I'm saying? Because the vehicle the president uses, it has a lot of features. And if those features are beginning to experience problems continuously, because firstly, we don't have a correct mechanical shop in Liberia. We don't have it. So by the time you start experiencing 1 or 2 other cents on a vehicle, giving problem, it means pack it. Because that vehicle responds to penalty, you don't know. It responds to many things. You want to know the strength of that vehicle be somewhere you go, you tell the president there, what have you do to you? If you want to try that vehicle strength, the day President Walker somewhere, go carry noise around there. You'll see what have you go alone do to you there before you even think about looking for somebody else. So that's telling you that the vehicle is built in a way that it provides security for the presidency. So therefore, if it comes to president security, we must ensure the president is safe. But when it comes to wasteful spending, we cannot tell you should have $300 scratch card. Where I work, my brother, my money scratch card is $35 US, include both data and voice. And that goes on to the entire month. It will not finish until the following month. And I'm really allotted. I use vehicles where we have lock in it. When you travel anywhere, the vehicle is locked, the fuel is consumed. At the end of the week, logistics assess the fuel consumption and decide that the vehicle need more fuel. But we wasting too much in government. That's why. That's why
but Johnny and Pewee, for example, right? For example, for example, yeah, be realistic. NSA, tell me now, NSA alone, NSA getting $14.9 million. And listen now, community college in Liberia getting only $9.7 million. Tell me now, what was giving NSA all that money for?
You see, too many to this, bro.
Come here, guys.
That's security we're talking about here.
Man, we got security. Oh, man,
we don't compare with the big countries, bro.
What happened in
1 minute. My brother Pewee, one of the biggest security that we are missing in our country is education. That's why we are in trouble.
I know.
The biggest security risk of our nation is security.
I'm not saying we should translate.
It's education that is downplayed. Abraham Toure in Burkina Faso, the car he rides is less than $100,000, and he is more at brakes than Joseph Boakai 100 times. 200 times he's more at risk than Joseph Boakai. The car he rides is less than $100,000. And look, this is not even Joseph Boakai. The car George are riding too expensive.
Let me
provide information, okay? For the last 14 years, Liberia has spent $167 billion, $57,909 on NSA alone. For what?
How many
for
years?
What? From 2010 to 2024, we have spent $167 million, $57,909 on NSA alone.
Do we know? Do we know?
Police are not even up to 10,000.
Do we
the
know?
Problem is. I won't call it. The NSA official told me. The guy said, he said all the governments that come, their money is funneled through NSA. It is true.
Yeah.
That official.
Why do you want when Boga asked for NSA audit? Why he stopped it right away?
I come in 1 minute. That official. The reason why he stopped it was clear that you cannot publicly announce NSA audit. I told you from the beginning of this show when I announced that. I announced it, went back to the book. Part of the reason why they stopped it was the president himself. It was unfortunate. He had been vice president for 12 years and they didn't advise him. His handler should have advised him, Mr. President, or the National Security Advisor. That's the reason why even the National Security Advisor himself is ignorant to most of those things that unfold. So basically, they didn't have the kind of understanding of it. It was unfortunate that he did that. When they knew that it was not to be done, they make a catch up and they change the process. The NSA cannot commission audit even of the GSC or the very NSA, the president, right? When they did that process and they came back to the realization and they came to engage how they're going to do it. There's a procedural mechanism set to conduct all those things. But let me say this to you. The NSA official that said that to you is not a true agent of that. Again, part of this, past agents that have been very disgruntled or disillusioned about certain unfolding events in those institutions will come out the same. But yeah, here's what I would say to you. The NSA have locked horn with a lot of great, powerful partners to settle most of those risky situations that can unfold. Now, the NSA will operate in most of her covert activities that have things they can divert and deflect. That's what we don't know. And that will not come to us because they are all covert, right? The overhead operation will come up to us. The NSA will hire a lot of folks for intelligent purposes.
Oh, so
it's part of that.
Jerry year alone, Boga not paying 11 million on NSA for what? What NSA
This year
done
alone, this year alone, I have to.
I'm looking at records here, data, 11 million alone for next year.
Was that in the budget? Was that in the budget? Was that in the budget?
Yeah, they were budgeted. They put it there. Now, next year,
okay. Then what I'm going to do?
we'll be spending $2.98 million for next year.
Gentlemen,
That be for Johnny for what? But Johnny, Johnny, you travel to
let me provide it. I come in.
You travel abroad. Your job takes you to abroad. You see how the people are living, and you trying to defend the kind of spending there. I'm surprised, Johnny.
No. You see, no. You see, that's why I told you specifically the presidential vehicle. When I came to speak about the issue, I made reference to the presidential vehicle. And second thing, I want to let us know, we should not use this platform to dive into aspects of the state that will tend to undermine the security of the state. To discuss excuse me, to discuss 1 minute, listen. To discuss the NSA budget, to discuss the security of the presidency, right? It can go so far it should have a limit. Because if we follow the public, you'll be leading the public into chaos. Look, there is no government without security. I may agree with you that the budget for NSA is high, but the NSA budget can be discussed by the security experts that are around the presidency to ensure that we have more allocation toward social services. Look, the best security for any place is social security, meaning the people's welfare, the people's condition being improved. But despite that, if you are in a situation where you need to have a physical security, you need to have covert security, we gotta be careful how we discuss, because if we have a public perception and want to go into the security discussion, we may be leading the public into a different situation. I am not in any way saying to you that I'm supporting wasteful spending. No, I got making my reference clear to you that the vehicle of the presidency has its own features. So if it does the assessment and realize that this vehicle need to be replaced based on security security workings, they can make the changes. You and I will not know why they made the change.
Johnny, are you about those features?
Exactly. I have. Come here, Benjamin. I have some basic skills. I know. And I mean, Benjamin, I don't speak about issues that I have no idea about. No, that's what I'm saying to you right now. I'm saying to you, right?
The great United States. Listen, people can talk about the department budget. Americans are so much concerned about the wasteful spending of the military in this country. People talk about it.
Yeah, listen, Ben. The issue discussed about American security in the U.S. is not detailed. I can tell you, not detailed. Do you know that most? Listen, Ben. Do you know that most of the things we use now as anti-material, they are decommissioned security material from the U.S. Department of State? I mean, the Department of Security. Most of the things we use, even the phones we use now with new features, they were commissioned initially. They were used by a security agency. When they are decommissioned, that's when it becomes to the public. And when they are there, you have to have information. So the American security will not let you will not discuss the internal security. Why do you think the guy who had a WikiLeaks against the American security was commissioned for investigation? You can discuss state security matters to a limit. I'm telling you the fact, you can do it to a limit. There are issues of American security you will not discuss in the public.
Johnny, the reason why we're discussing this issue, because it surrounds corruption. We are sensing that they are putting all of these funds in this place as the means to go there and take the money out. If we can stand here and talk about other things, why can't we talk about the corruption that is surrounding security?
Listen. Ben. Let me tell me, right? Yeah. People are welcome. Let me say this, right, guys. We gotta be honest with ourselves. Oh, the threat to Liberia right now is what they call the Zogos and the health and educational sector. On a serious note, if to say we saw money where they said we have 73 electoral districts in Liberia. It was saying that we'll buy one ambulance and one fire truck for each of these districts, so that I will not be making noise. I want to see. So in America, anywhere, any developed country, when you die 911, people should be able to come right away. But in Liberia today, somebody's sick, you call, you gotta say you gotta pay it's a crime committed. You gotta pay the police way, you gotta buy gas, put it. I mean, you told myself, when is they get all that money for what? Gentlemen, that be frank, man.
And I will agree with you.
You should not be that way. I can bet you. Look,
I will agree with you to the junction.
What can help me, right? When I hear people say, look, if we know there were threats, that's why it is important. You see, in the country, it's important when there's a threat, the justice minister will go on, he'll go and have a press conference and say the threat level has been raised. But in Liberia, do we see the justice minister giving press conference with the security agency saying that our threat level high to justify the money they're giving them? People that be sure for one, man.
But Tomalin,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Good to see everybody, guys. Good to see everybody. Let me say this. I think places like NSA have been used as a dumping ground for corruption, for them to, money laundering and other things. That's why they have used NSA for over the years. We're talking about security. What kind of what are all the security threats to Liberia have not come to light? People have not discussed. Every day, security. You got people going through the airports, the other places carrying drugs. People flying into that country, arresting people and bringing all kinds of stuff in, picking up people and taking them. What the security got in that country? And you get millions of dollars that have been filled into the agency just for government officials and others to money laundering. It's more like a money laundering group that they're filling money into NSA. That's what they're doing. I don't see what the security sector, like what they have done. But some of the people don't even pay. If you talk about NSA getting millions of dollars, most of the people that work there don't even see the money. They don't even get the pay. Once they go into the account, they divert it into other areas for personal use and for corrupt practices. Look how porous is our border. Look other places in Liberia there. You have been to that airport before, where you have Lebanese folks who just come and pay a couple of dollars back through security. What have the security sector really done to protect Liberia, to stop drugs and other things from coming into that country? Right at the airport, you will see people coming through with all kinds of drugs right around international airport. What is the security sector? What have they really done? I don't think the name of money going there is just the name. But those people that are there don't see the money, because soon they go there, they already have a disbursement area to go. Soon it gets there, bam, they ship it into other government offices. And I wanted to comment on the car too. Why should we buy $1 million car for our president? Okay. One thing that embarrassed me about this Joe Biden government is the fact that this is a man who ran on the mantra that he will ensure that transparency and accountability is at the level of his government. He was everywhere. He spoke against it. He spoke against the CDC government. He was everywhere, even when he couldn't make it. When he got out of here, came out of the hospital one time, he was there talking how corrupt the world is going to change. And this a man now you buying $1 million car for in a country like that, a country that don't even have stable electricity. You buying $1 million car for someone who want to kill that president. Liberia don't want to kill the president. In other countries, people drive very cheap cars. Other presidents ride cheap cars. Why would Liberia struggling and you have a president buying $1 million car? I don't think it makes sense. It's just part of the corruption. And we know that this president did not come to change anything in Liberia. We have seen from the first 11 months, we are seeing massive failure in this government. The first 11 months, mass failure. I mean, you can't even talk about it. You can't even count it, but it's sad. It's sad because they continually misuse NSA. Let me put it in that word. They misuse NSA to put the money there and then disperse it to themselves. That's what they do.
And then my own point, basically, as I was saying here, it's not because of what people will say about it. No, we believe that is national security agents of our country. If the people, the taxpayer, believe that there have been some things conducted there in terms of from past years, as too many were just mentioning, from 2010 or from 2006, since our new democracy, we can find a way to conduct a way to process to find if there's any malfeasance unfolding in there, or misfeasance, if you will. But I still believe that that's the biggest spy institution of our country. And in many spy institutions, you will see that there will be a lot of covert activities conducted. So to most of those covert operations, folks will want to say things being unfolding in the way, the manner of that. Now, someone is saying it's not about being tribalistic or trying to be try to sign more trouble here. No, past government president didn't come from Lofa, and my thought process about the NSA have been the same. It's the spy institution. Until we can have the law change or to declassify most of those ways of informing or discussing deep about our country's spy institutions, then that the law will provide also do. But again, folks will just sit, we're not understanding what we're trying to discuss, and they will come sometime with what they want to say. Now, they're entitled to their opinion and their thought process. I don't have a problem with that. I respect that, and I respect all of those decisions. But what I would say clearly is that our spy institution, there's a lot of money put in those areas. And to do, because if you start studying these kind of things about security, you have more understanding about them. I used to think the same way before, the way folks would want to sit there and think. But to have the understanding as to how those institutions operate is quite frankly different from our normal operational bureaucracy. It is not the kind of a operational government bureaucratic proceedings. No, it's not. It's a different bureaucracy here. So basically, we have to align those things. I'm coming. We have to align our thought process to these things and allow them to unfold. But wherein there's some problems, we can collectively, as people, ask our lawmakers of our people to change the laws, then we move on. For instance, you are just saying something about this great country. There are certain areas that cannot be discussed, but we'll never discuss those things. Security Department, we're not going to do comparison here. They're not even comparable. But what I would say here clearly, I was just listening last time to the news about when this new coming Defense Secretary Hessel was projected by Mr. Trump. He said he's about to head an institution with almost 2-point-something million staff with a budget of almost $1 trillion. Right? So if you hear that, you get scared. You don't see that amount. One institution is having a budget of almost $1 trillion. The defense budget. But again, if folks were to go through those things, you would have to hear if you say a lot of things come about those things. But my point here quickly is that the National Security Agency of our country is a very detailed and highly dedicated institution. But we would just say, corruption. No one have ever conducted any source of accountability and audit that have proven for past. I'm not talking about the current government put trouble. The government just came in. I'm talking about past government from the past 15, almost 20 years ago, or even past government from the past 100 years ago.
Doing the same wrong.
Come again?
Let me ask you a quick question.
Go ahead.
You said the U.S. defense budget is $1 trillion. But
almost
you know one thing you didn't say?
Almost $900 billion.
Yeah, but you know one thing that you didn't say? That amount in proportion to their national budget. That's the way you will see that money is just a drop in with regards to their budget. Let's flip it on the other side. Look at Liberia budget and look at the money you pay for one car. That's how you make comparison, and you know that you're being wasteful. By the way, Obama used to be.
What's the amount of the budget that you said? Because sometimes we need to get our folks following us to understand these things. Then they will make a very independent judgment without being sentimental. Yes. What is the amount put in a place? What is the amount?
Sylvester, why do you want to compare?
I'm compare
the American military.
No, I'm comparing that Peabody. Probably you're on the phone. You're not following that Peabody.
Let me finish.
I'm not the one comparing.
I don't want to forget my process.
Listen, Ben. My question to you also. Just ask the question. My question to you, I didn't compare. I didn't do no comparison. I had to do comparison with. You can compare.
I know you.
Water and.
I know you were not comparing it, but you use that 1 trillion. You use that almost a trillion to sound so astronomical. But one thing you did do is that you gave the budget that 1 trillion is coming from. Because when you look at the budget that 1 trillion is coming from, that almost a trillion is a drop in the bucket in regards to the American budget.
That's my issue. They're trying to bring
Okay,
something up. My point to you is that
wait. I'm asking one question. Ben, 1 minute, Ben. The Tomalin say 11 million NSA budget. What is 11 million to 800 million?
No, we were talking specifically about.
No, don't change it because you listen. I won't draw you to your one another you just made. You said a trillion. Listen to me, Ben. Ben, wait. You said a trillion to the American budget is a trap.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you because too many said, and let you too many figure he pull up. Too many said 11 million. So I'm saying what is 11 million to 800 million?
That's I can do the percentage number. That's
So I'm just saying to you. I'm just saying to you.
No,
that's a drop in the budget compared to our national budget.
Compared to what you are saying, it's a drop in the bucket.
Wait, look.
It's not a drop, and let me tell you why it's not a drop in the budget.
It is.
You have to consider other things in the budget. When you see for our entire budget, everything goes to salary.
Look,
everything goes to salary. So, look, the two major insecurity that the country does not have. You can have all of the military in this war, you will still be defeated if you don't have food security and you don't have education. These are the two things you must be secure with. If you don't have them, you can have all the weapons. How do the soldiers fight when they don't eat? How do the soldiers fight when they're not knowledgeable? You think that the amount of weapons that you buy that can win war? No, weapons don't win war. It takes intelligence to win war. And let's start. We need to educate our young people, man.
Yeah. So Ben, look, let's try to organize our conversation because we start jumping around to this and that. The discussion came up from the budget, right? And the reference was made on the president's vehicle. And I said, I would not want to condemn the wild because from what I know, probably the security have advised that the current vehicle that was used by President Weah or President Sirleaf has lost its usefulness at some level, so a new thing. That's very protection. But I also said to you that I do not support a minister running a car of 100,000. Even for the $5,000 for a president or senator, I don't support it. I don't support anyone taking $300 for a scratch card. I don't support it. Right? For me, I support accountability of every public use of facility. Where I work, they don't budget fee of my car every month. We have a lump sum budget for the entire office. The vehicles are used every week. The legislation does an assessment of the log and see how much fuel we have consumed in the period based on the distance, and then fuel is replenished. Why don't we use that in government? Why are we seeing this minister need 200 gallons to go where? Right in Monrovia, right? I don't support that. So that's my point I'm making here. I want to make a reference to security when it comes to the VIP protection for the president's car. But all other aspects should be streamlined. The last budget was 80,000. I mean, and we have almost 80% plus on recurring expenditure. What was done for people in the country? No road was built.
But Johnny, in streamlining, is it worth it for the president to have a $1 million car?
No, listen.
Is there anything in the budget that says $1 million?
Do we have that? Is that why in the budget $1.5 for vehicle?
It is a lag.
Yes, I checked the budget. It's not true. That's why.
It is a lag. How much the president car was, though? So how much president car was?
The car, the four cars going to be
the president and the vice president. It was
$582,000. It's not $1 million.
Yes,
both of them. $582,000, $500,000. That's a lot of money.
No, for bulletproof vehicle.
Liberia is a poor country. Why would you want to do that?
That's why we're buying that amount. That's why we're taking that amount. It's not $1
million.
That Peabody, if you are president of the contract, will push for you to
wrap. It's a waste. I will not do that.
No,
you just people suffering. I would ride a very cheap car.
Look, look,
No, I just
look,
told
at,
you.
look at the schoolboy you using. Our schoolboy is expensive.
No. I'll buy my
The
cheap
guy
football and
in
put my Lancer
Burkina
inside.
Faso.
I'll buy my
The
cheap.
guy in
So,
Burkina Faso.
I'll buy my cheap glass and put a
gentlemen,
Lancer
You
inside.
see a Bob Berry shirt wearing there?
gentlemen,
I saw a Bob Berry shirt.
gentlemen, let's keep the
Baba,
conversation
Baba,
on the
better
way.
bugger, you wearing custom made shirt and all his name on it.
When you pass you do the CD.
No, I will not.
So, but Lord,
The guy in
let me
Burkina
say clear
Faso is
again, right?
riding a car.
Let me be clear again.
That's less than
I'm interested.
Taylor said before, right? Taylor
Look,
said 1 minute, Johnny. Taylor said the Liberia people love to see their leader look very good. He told Mary Harper in a very special interview. When Mary Harper went in his house, he said, "Mr. President, I see you Rolls Royce in your yard. I see you live in a very super mansion." Taylor said to her, "The African and Liberian people." He said, "I'm not Liberian people." He said, "Go back and get the debate back to her." He said, "Do you know that we even trying to copy after the queen? You see how the kind of mansion the queen get? When you enter the queen, eat with a gold spoon. I don't have gold spoon, right?" And that's when she went back to London. She said it was the first African leader that ever hit her high in the debate. Even Robin White himself said that before. But again, back to it, our leaders should always look good. That's why the Bible says we should respect our leaders. We should respect the authority. And that's one of the reasons why sometimes I don't have to know the president of the Peabody. Were you to be tomorrow the president of the country, why you think that the military or everyone will stand in salute in that courtesy one when the president is walking anywhere? Why you think we get that? Why you think the Constitution of the Republic says he shall be the commander-in-chief, head of government and head of state? Commander-in-chief, head of government and head of state. Why you think in this country we have a plane called Air Force One to exclusively and safely carry the president around?
Yeah, because the Americans can generate the funds.
We don't have that money, we don't do nothing, but at least we should manage it. Not because we poor down and will be our president will be struggling.
Just before Johnny coming,
You have 10, you have 20.
the president deserves every protection. He needs to be protected. Our president needs to be safe. But a $500,000 car in a poor country like that?
But it's not one vehicle. It's a set of 10 vehicles. It's not one vehicle.
The fleet is not 500,000, so it's more than that.
No, it's not more than that. You see,
it's more than that.
No, it's only the president's car. The president and the vice president was 1.4.
Those vehicles for the president, these are custom built vehicles, and it's built in a way and manner that it should have some security coverage, right? So if you see those things are there to detect from maybe 300 meters or other thing, detect some potential threat towards the president. We will detect other vehicles that have some potential lead to, So those are vehicles that got those kind of intelligent features.
But Lofa is going to play a video. Lofa going to play a video shortly, and it will talk about some of the same things we're talking about.
Lofa didn't be off the show. They won't be interrupting the show by playing.
Lofa not interrupting. He's going to
interrupting the show.
He's going to put a video on.
Then he can't the show. He can be president density and be putting things because
he's sending a video of the same baga who are criticizing the other people.
Whatever the video, let's bring it. For me, I don't
know. You see, we got the same thing. When you're not inside, you not know.
Yeah, this is not meant to protect Buaka. This is meant to protect the Liberian presidency. It may be you tomorrow, I will defend you.
No, I'm far from
that. Yes.
I'm far from that.
It may also be me that are contemplating this contesting the election. When I'm president tomorrow, we want to ride those bulletproof level also. Yeah, I know you will defend me from riding everybody.
Look,
what about the video?
No, Johnny wanted to comment. Let me pause and let Johnny come.
Let me just say this, right? We are just trying to probably confuse the public. And I want to be specific. When it comes to the national budget, I have always said the budget should be serving the people of Liberia, not to serve those that are in power. That's one. However, when it comes to the presidency, and I will keep repeating this, the presidency has to be taken care of in such that the state is safe. So if the presidency, if the president's vehicle is somewhere around $200,000, $300,000, $500,000. Oh, okay. We'll go ahead with the movie.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's try that. Sorry, Johnny.
These ladies were walking, and they saw me. They came and greeted me, and I said, I asked them where they were going. They said, well, somebody give us some place here to make garden. We walked 1.5 hours. Of course, 1.5 hours to come back without food. And gave them 5 bags of rice. And they ended up in court for that rice. Because where they kept the rice, by the time they came from the farm, the president had sold it. That's the culture of our country. And that touched me. Because there were people who wanted to farm no land, and there are people who have land they probably don't want to farm. So I had a friend that was my classmate. His mother left him 200 acres of land and made it available to these people. And I only said serious farmers cooperative. I was saying serious. And I wasn't giving to a particular person, but people who were serious. We just let them harvesting. We got in rice mills, got in all of these because we feel that that will be a future to take care of their children. I'm not saying this for any praises, but that's the situation in our country. All of you are here. You came for one reason or the other. But you want to go one day. When you go home, you want to be received at your entry. And I don't have to tell you how you receive there. You go through other posts. By the time you get there, it's chaos. If you take a test review, you get embarrassed. You go in our streets, you know what they look like. Liberia is worse than that. We must see it. We live there. When you go home, you want to go home. Some of you go home with an intent to go to your village. Unfortunately, you go to Monrovia. By the time they harass you, you don't even have money there. So today we are here.
Okay. Let's
Visiting with you to let you know that.
All right. Let's pause this. This is President Boyka criticizing the previous government, telling them what's going on. What have changed, Johnny, from what the president was saying?
In my view, nothing has changed. Before you came on, Tomalin asked this very question. And I said, I think the government is still trying to find its bearing in terms of governance and the rule of law in this country. So we are having steady, I don't know if I say steady or no. I mean, clearly speaking, we have not had a real change that we anticipate from all the campaign messages that came from the Unity Party. You understand? So I'm hoping that the next year, FY25, should give us some opportunity to see something changing in the country. Otherwise, then we just said to let the 6 year go again, and we try another person in 2029. But I've always said that. I mean, this show started this afternoon, this evening, in fact, and I told Tomalin that I don't see what has been done. The government started on a very bad footing. I mean, in terms of formation of the government, in terms of policy making. I mean, every aspect. So of the current, in the last 10 to 11 months, I've not seen a real change coming to this country through the current regime. I'm hoping that next year, FY25 may be better. Other than that, then we should just sit by and wait for for the next few years, 2029, to go to another election and see if we can replace this regime with another regime. But currently, nothing. Perspective, nothing.
So basically, and there was no need to even play the video. And one of the reasons is that, and Dr. Peabody, we have to be a little very clear here. And until we can understand what is our mission? Many of us, when it will just say things sometimes, because we just want to say it and take our fingers, put it to form to write some comments, or come and say things here. We've been very clear. And that's why I would love also for us to capture things. We have to be good listeners, and then we'll follow that. So now we will not nail someone and then want to punish them because we want to do that. What we said here that I've made a statement here, and I will use the same word. There was a tumultuous time for this government in the first 10 to 11 months. There are a lot of slippages. There are a lot of serious slippages. And that if we were to catalog, we wouldn't leave from here today. That position was made from the beginning of this show, from the get-go of this show tonight. That does not negate the reality thereof, that we cannot come out and say what is important in terms of our bureaucracy. And I will not vacillate because of that. I will not change my disposition because people believe I should say what they want to hear. No, then I'll be a coward. No reasonable individual will want to do that. And I won't be one to change my perception about issue where I understand that's the reality. I understand government bureaucracy even before I went into government. It's not about sentiments. When there are things going wrongly, we step those things are going wrongly. But what we do, we profit way of finding the problem. Time to time, if you were to see the structure of our governance and the government process, it's clear. There's missteps. And this process about saying the maintenance of having our security process intact or buying vehicle for the president, that's going to change. We criticize, not criticize, that's going to be the normal process that's going to come forward. Even after our lifetime, the next generation, they will always have bulletproof vehicle for the president. Nobody going to come as president of Liberia and say they're going to ride an ordinary Jeep. No, nobody. Nobody. And as technology will time to time advance, those features on vehicle will advance. The presidential custom built kind of a vehicle will also advance. And it is clear that the president of our country will need pairs of vehicles. If it's going to be this kind of a Jeep, it's going to be something that will come either in 2 or in the pair of 4. If it's going to be a sedan, it will come in the pair of 2 or a pair of 4. They will have a store in the executive mansion warehouse. There's a storage for presidential motor vehicles or presidential limo, if you will. That have been part of the bureaucracy in terms of presidential motor pools. We need to do those things so that they will, because the presidential vehicle can be penetrated. And the reason why I'm saying this is if you don't study these things, then boundary, but you start to understand the details, the background profession of it, you appreciate even those guys that are always running across the lemon of the presidential vehicle as the coverage guy that will move, forming the diamond formation around the president for the president's house. It's important across the world. Now, what is the risk analysis of the current president? That's a risk factor the security people will discuss. They will disclose those things. They know why that did have to happen, why they have to happen. So my own intent here is that the video there we defeated the purpose of that video even before the video came out. Who defeated that ever since today? So the video there even took our time by about 5 minutes. We will discuss other pivotal national issues. Who defeated it? Right? Nothing has changed. We don't have to time to time re-amplify our tone in terms of discussing one thing that we're learning, we're in kindergarten saying recitation. That is never come on to that. And so that's part of the reason why we will say that. So I will tell you, Dr. Peabody, that for the first 10 to 11 months, nothing has changed. I said from the aspect of the rule of law, nothing has also something else. So it's part of the process that we will always move on to say this. And if this will give us the appetite to nourish presidential ambition, trust me, we're not in the bracket to do those things, and we're going to start this process, and we'll build soldiers to begin to have this kind of same thought process about navigating and projecting those kind of a thinking.
But I guess the Liberian people need people like you who will go there and carry on reform. You know, if you are president, what were you doing 11 months ago?
If our president was doing 11 months,
I'm so surprised.
I've always said this. I've always said this, Ben, 1 minute. I always said as a Peabody, if I were to engage the Liberian president, the first fundamental process I would put into place is to engage. I would do that competently, along with no development, but rule of law. Now, if we adhere to the tenets of the rule of law, we change the face of Liberia. 3 things I will do in terms of the rule of law, first and foremost. Before the first person I want to be very engaged with, I will be very, very intimate with in terms of appointing the police chief and the justice minister. These are the 2 officials of government I would love to see, and they were very intimate rapport with them. Number 1, police justice minister is you don't have no friend in my administration as justice minister. Do the work according to the laws we have on the book. The laws on the book is good; it will get implemented. Mr. Police Director, if a minister is violating the traffic rule, impound his vehicle, register that process, publish it. If it is blatantly wrong, I will have him dismissed immediately. I mean, that's just the line. Change the rule of law in that country, you set the basis of fundamental change in the society. The next thing you do as president, any president that wants to succeed in that country, don't do nothing. The 2 things you concentrate on: rule of law, and start to connect all of our capital cities, our county cities with paved road. That would be the agenda. But the first thing to check that country to move on is the rule. Because rule of law in place, you will stem corruption. And if you stem corruption, you give a pathway to development. That's what I would do as feedback.
So this is what I would say, Pewee. Look, our presidents that we have had have all been misguided. And here is what I say so. We know Mr. Bwaka to be an agriculturalist. That's why he went to school for. That's the only thing he did in school. That's why he learned. So you will find out that presidents who are business, who are into the business career, their presidency will be focused on business, because that aspect of their life is where it's what they know best, so they can perform best in that area. When you look at Mr. Bwaka's budget and look at our past president, we have budget. Look at sports and agriculture. Do you think both of them were serious for those 2 areas? The answer is no. These are the 2 of them excelling. That's what the world knew them for. You know that Bwaka is not serious about agriculture only based on the amount of money he puts. How can you put more money for your car than the money that you want to invest into agriculture? You're not a serious president. You're not serious. So like again, Bill Clinton, lawyer and economist. When he came, what was he focusing on? He was more focused on the economy. Donald Trump, a businessman, when he came, what was he most focused on? On the business aspect, because that's what you did. That's what you went to school for. But in Liberia, people would get to these positions and not aspire to anything. And that's why Bwaka is he is a failure, and there's nothing will change. These 11 years tells me, these 11 months tells me what the next year will all turn to be another place. Thank you.
But Johnny, look, Jonah, look, the president of Ghana, the cars he drives cost about $150,000, 60,000 cities. Ghana is a developed country, very high population, industrial African country as well. The president cars, his fleet of cars is 150,000
for one vehicle.
No, his fleet.
Calculate the amount of vehicle he has.
His fleet of cars, 150,000. His fleet. All right.
The entire fleet.
Why will a country like Liberia,
the entire fleet,
$500,000 car? Okay. This the guy himself. I mean, is it to enjoy his retirement that he'll be that wasteful on a poor country like that? Is it to enjoy his retirement that he'll be so wasteful? Or somebody trying to steal that old man don't know about, because Bwaka said, he like big life, he live quiet life, he live a very simple life. But look at the life Bwaka is living now. Look at his foundation. The other time they brought in $500,000 of medical supplies to Liberia. What the foundation that was very dysfunctional when he was not president. See now how the DG are over $500,000 on medical equipment. It saddens me. It saddens me that this man who ran to change, who condemned President Weah for almost 6 years, it's even worse than President Weah. Lofa Julius, good to see you. Welcome, Lofa.
Thank you, everybody else on here. I see my uncle Johnny, Pewee, and of course Ben. You guys are doing a perfect job educating our people. Quickly, and of course to our audience, not to forget that. Pewee, let me tell you something. When I did mass communication, what I was taught is to understand that there are a variety of ways to educate people. People have several different ways to learn. You have visual learners that videos and stuff help them retrospect, okay, or help them to retain certain information. The reason why often you see when the news or the CNN and other media outlet, they are carry on the news, you know what they do? They play these videos. Now, let me tell you something. The reason why I played that video purposely is what Benjamin Jonah alluded to. He spoke of agriculture. If you listen to the video and you listen attentively, you would have heard when President Boycott spoke of his desire, his conscience, his passion for agriculture. Now, let us make that comparison to what is allotted in the budget. What that tells you is that he simply spoke those words because he wanted to buy people's sentiment. And this is exactly what you're doing here. In a country like Liberia, where your people live in abject poverty, the least you can think of at this moment is to purchase for yourself a bulletproof vehicle, because you want to be nothing but flamboyant and don't even prioritize. That tells me your thought process. If you were prioritizing, you know what you will prioritize? The investment in education. You will invest in quality health care. You will invest in security. Those are the things that you will prioritize. And when you start to prioritize those things, guess what happens? Your people becomes enlightened, okay? Because now they can see from different dimensions. They see to protect themselves. And when they notice that you are investing in them as a leader, they protect you because you are their interest. And that is why some of you who claim to be political scientists or did political science lack the basic understanding of. In political science, it's not about you. It's about the true transformation of the people you represent. That's what politics is not about you. You're talking here tonight. I'm hearing you talking about, oh, if I were this president, yes, this is what I would do. Guess what? The people of Liberia at this time, this is 2024. Our people are still drinking dirty water. And you're talking about driving around in a bulletproof vehicle as though we are out here trying to threaten your life? Is that what you consider a priority? You were asked about priority. What would you do? And you want to make this comparison and you're using this analogy from the Bible. Even the Bible spoke of being able to respect and honor your leaders. You know what? The leaders in the Bible, those who represented the people, they represented the interests of the people. Even Christ himself, he did not put himself above the people he represented. He actually put the people concerned. And that is the reason why, as it is stated in the Bible, when Jesus Christ himself was asked as to when he was asked about the coin, he said, give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give unto God what belongs to God. Okay? Let us not start to use these biblical ideas and all of these things to try to deviate from the reality here. The reality on ground is any president who sincerely believes in change will not prioritize living luxuriously, will not prioritize having to get in and out of the country. What the priority would be those key areas that we need to focus on: education, healthcare, security, food, sufficiency in food. Let us start to be sufficient, food sufficient, and then everything else will come into play. Because at that point, everything else that we need to do, we will start to expire into other things. Not for us to sit here and talk about, if when I become a president, I will want to buy a $200,000 bulletproof vehicle. For what? Who in Liberia really wants to bother anybody right now? The people are not concerned about that. The people want their lives to be better. So any president who put them first, who makes them their priority, they will support and appreciate you. That's the reason why the likes of you and other people, you ran the campaign trail and you told the people that President Weah was on refugee camps and other places. He had Liberia at heart. You know the reason why you used that as a campaign message? Because you knew how passionate the people were about those leaders who loved them. It's not about their desire. And you want to use Charles Taylor, a warlord who thought the best way to power was through the barrel of the guns? A warlord?
Listen. This is not commentary.
Let's be civil now. Remember,
you cannot go on a bit.
No,
you cannot continue on a bit. Listen.
Let me land.
No. You want to let me listen. I understand. You don't come here and just pure gibberish.
That is not gibberish. Anything that you consider gibberish that was
listen. Because you made look at warlord. Talking about president about warlord. I know you get.
He was a warlord. It was used.
Listen here. Listen. The intent was to come the trade.
He used his status to extend to the presidency.
No. Listen.
He used his status as a warlord to extend to the presidency. So that does not take away from
he was duly elected. He was duly elected by the people of Liberia.
Yes,
and that he was democratically elected as president.
The people
he was elected as president of the country.
Regardless
he
of
was
what
elected
democratically
as president
this
of the
is
republic.
What I'm telling you.
And for this reason, I will let you land and I will come out. Go ahead.
Okay. So now that you have interrupted me, I will just give you the same virtue that you just presented me, but I will save it for a little time. Probably not today, but I will hand you a little bit of it in the next episode. But again, I close on this note. We must start to prioritize what our people need. We must start to prioritize what our people want. Okay? Needs and wants are two different things. You can want something, but you don't need it. And you can need something, but it's not a want. So what I'm hearing from you tonight, again, for a man who sincerely wants to run for the presidency, I'm sad for our generation. We have a lot of work.
The intent of saying nursing the process of presidency, that's a serious methodology. That's a serious process being thought of. But here's what I will say quickly. And again, we'll come on this show and I want to beg folks to understand the material background we always come from in terms of speaking to the real issues. And that's why for some of us who come here, we leave everything about being a little emotional into the process about what the country should look like and just discuss the policy process. Now, just saying that we'll for people drinking this, but I agree that we don't have the duty in some part of the country. Folks are still challenged about water that is usable or drinkable. Folks are still very challenged about that. But that problem has persisted even before when the Pope was still an altar boy. But what I want to talk about this issue about politics.
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you.
No. The reason
why let me say something to you, right? When you made mention of the fact that Pewee, hold on one second. I'm sorry.
Even when the Pope was an altar boy.
Let me just say, okay.
Stop across the globe.
This is what you call being innovative. You identify the problem. Prior to, again, Pewee, you cannot say because it was in existence prior to your ascendancy, you should ignore that. That, again, I just want to correct that. You can identify that as a problem and you can hopefully fix it. That is how innovative one
You see,
thing.
you didn't allow me to learn, and you
Okay, now I'll allow you to learn.
I'll allow the reason why you didn't even allow me what I was saying. I was saying something.
You actually,
I said, even though
you put me to come on.
referencing the process, I said, even though what you said is correct, the process about fixing those problems will always persist, while the method of fixing them will be emotion. There will always be challenges ahead. We'll always have those kind of an issue. But to come out and not trying to go there, hitting, oh, Charles was a war. There's a reason why the war went to Liberia. I'm not going to justify those things. I didn't support what happened during the war. I'm referencing some of the process during his presidency that unfolded. And as a matter, let me give you this information. When Charles was elected president of Liberia, I didn't vote. Because then I didn't vote in that election. I was not among the Liberian people that voted, but I respected the decision from the Liberian people. Charles didn't go to the presidency by the barrel of the guns, but rather the ballot. He was duly elected to a special election held in 1997 when he won that election and inaugurated August 2nd of the same year. So basically, it was not a process that he went through a coup d'etat. No, there was a civil crisis in the country. There's an open civil crisis in the country, and our past partner and other people rebuked the then military junta that was in the country. But the basic thing that's unfolding in the country in terms of people wait for them neglecting, no. We always have those kind of challenges in the country. And I haven't come out to say I'm serving as a spokesperson of this government. No. I won't pretend to do that. I will speak up the hard reality. But unfortunately, if you would believe that you want to come on a show to spark up something to certify what you believe is unfolding, but you don't want to balance your level of criticism, then I mean, some of us will go the other line. Because my own way is that I look at the process as to how they unfold. I'm not just going to be overly unreasonable in terms of what we will give government and president of a republic. Where in the world you want to see that happen? Even the poorest of our country will protect their presidency in terms of the vehicles, the presidential motorcade. The president motorcade will have to have the kind of vehicles that will portray in our country. Number one, you have to understand the terrain we find ourselves. The president will have to. The president of our country don't fly when he visits the rest of the country. The president drives in those areas. We have very high off the road terrain in terms of traveling. If you procure a vehicle for the president, these are things we look at before we procure a vehicle for the president. First and foremost, we look out for is the risk threat to the presidency. Two is the terrain the presidential vehicle and the motorcade will be headed. So those are areas that we focus our attention in terms of procuring presidential motorcade. So the basic process about growing that you expect us to buy 100,000 vehicles or 50,000 vehicles for the president. The amount you guys been talking about the idea research is not $1 million for the presidential vehicle. No.
It's one
It's not the first president. It's not going to be the last president. Every leader in terms of our history, even when it was not the vehicle, they were still very expensive. They were custom built. I'm coming, please. I'm coming.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just lost my train of thought.
So
you lost your thought?
So let me people let me ask this question. Ben lost his train of thought. Right?
Yeah. You say you have a question. I say go ahead. They say go ahead. The question is
Pewee, let me ask this question. When you're speaking of the you mentioned the risk factor.
Go ahead.
Oh yes,
Considering president.
So you're not coming again. You're coming lost.
Oh, you want to ask a question? I'll let you go. Maybe my statement about risk factor.
Yes, and exactly where you're going. Where Steve was going. So, Pewee, what was the last time in the past 10? Let's say the past 8 years, have there been any press statement from any of the government about a threat level towards the presidency?
So you see,
Let me add this. Let me add this to that, right? So let's be a little bit more practical about this.
Okay, let me help you small. The reason why I'm asking that question, usually, anywhere in the world, when
so you
the
ask me
when
question, you
a
want to say
particular
again?
sector,
You ask me, you want to me?
because you were like thinking about my, you were kind of thinking about my answer, but let me just add a little.
No. I'm not thinking about answer. I'm gonna give you the answer. Wait, no.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll give you the answer.
Okay.
You see,
So-
and part of the reason why you first slipped the question is the same way now you're thinking that we're not going to provide a question. So the whole question lost for you. But the answer for me, the answer, if you are to send me to bed now, you send me to bed, I just go deep sleep, and you wake me up from bed, I'll give you the answer. But yes, well, let me say this to you: you are not being following very religiously to this process about what those issues around the president. Yeah. The EPS before, I can remember during President Weir days, the EPS has sent warning out that they will stop personal how they call it, vehicle from directly tailing behind the president's motorcade. One. Those releases came out a lot of time during the Weir administration, even any time it came out. But he said 8 years, so I'll back it from adding days and everything. And they also stopped folks from flying drone from on top of the president's homes and vehicle going very close to the president. Whenever the president is disembarking a vehicle, folks should a little bit distance themselves. So those were, and mind you, in terms of coverage warning of the president's safety and other things, they will not give you detailed information around those things. But yeah, the EPS did warn the public about those things, flying drone around where the president will be moving, his house, his motor vehicles, and the rest of that. So they have been warning those things. So
those are not threats, though.
No, they are threats.
Those are not threats.
Why you say they are not threats? They are potential threats.
So I can hold on. So
no, hold on. Do you know what threat is first? Do you know what threat is?
Oh, yes, I know. Yes, I know. The threat
they are not threats.
Hold on, Pewee. The threat
you said they are not threats.
Hold on now. The threat level is determined by the security agency. So if you are saying, if you are saying that the security said drones were causing a problem to the president, do you have any newspaper that talk about any of those threats? Because
they were reported. They were not reported both electronic and the print media carried it. Listen, we're not going to both print and electronic media carry those things. Yeah. Print and electronic media. And listen, I'm just trying to give you something.
For the next time when we meet, can you please share that with me? I beg you, please.
No problem. I will go back. I will go by my archives to see in the archives to see if I can get it.
Because I really want to learn.
The EPS.
Because the reason why I asked this question.
And I come in. When the EPS also did that, there was a time also that when the president's home was also evaded by some I don't want to kind of issue. That time also even the military got deployed. The military police of the AFL of our republic, the armed forces of Liberia, got deployed around the presidency. So there sometimes will be threats around the presidency and the security, the EPS or other security apparatus that are tasked with the responsibility of protecting because the president is the commander-in-chief. So the entire, apart from the EPA, the entire joint security is clocked with the responsibility of protecting him. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and the rest of that. So yes, those threats will come, and the security forces will sometimes internally absorb those things. There are internal way that we do those things. There are some shock absorber. We absorb those internal threats and work on some mechanism to not just, because sometimes, mind you, in security coverage, if you don't know that, I mean, you understand this today. There are some threats that the public should not know of that we can internally absorb and deal with it. We don't have to panic the public on those. So those threats that the public should know of, they will tell the public. Those threats the public cannot know of, the public will not be informed. That's it.
Pewee, I want to just chime in here. I wanted, hopefully you can help me understand something here. You spoke of the risk factor, right? My question here is, if we are considering risk factor, are we being considerate of all aspects of it? Because we must understand that when it comes to risk, okay, especially when you're addressing the risk factor, you must consider that it could be biological, psychological, it could just be family, community, or cultural. Okay, so when you say the risk factor, I want you to hopefully quantify this. What is the risk level when it comes to President Joseph Boyka in Liberia? Consider
so with the current situation, and let me say this to you: the current situation, I wouldn't be here because I'm not on the ground,
right?
To give you an assessment of what is unfolding. I'm not on the ground. I'm coming 1 minute. I'm coming 1 minute. I'm not on the ground to give you a direct assessment of what the risk factors are,
or the level
of it, from level 1, because the category of those level will depend on the threat.
Well, okay, what would
the potential of the threat?
Give me an estimate.
I wouldn't do that because it will be unfair for me.
Okay, so
do that if I'm not on the ground to do a rough assessment of the terrain.
But it's fair for you to justify his purchase of a bulletproof vehicle without being able to justify or quantify the risk factor or level.
Yeah. The kind of a vehicle we're getting, that is justifiable, because what? If we're going to get now, I would have been on a serious mandate to file justify to you if we're going for the beast kind of a vehicle. The vehicle, yeah. If I was the beast, because the beast got your own internal mechanism to fight back, right? The beast does those things. The beast can navigate and we will send any potential threats that are coming up. We'll do that. That vehicle alone can do it. Now, we cannot buy the beast. We don't have the money to purchase the beast. What we can do, we can go for the other vehicles that will be in conformity with our risk factor of our president. The president.
So you cannot speak to the risk factor in being able to quantify it, but what you can do here is to try, you can justify why the vehicle is purchased. Again, Pewee, coming from a man who comes from a political background with experience. I think.
You see that? You see.
Wait, no. Let me say that.
You hating back Jenna. You.
No, I'm not. You see that?
Some of us pretend to know political science.
I'll go for the rest of it.
No, don't go for the rest of the thing. There's a reason why I hate back Jenna. I said this kind of thing. You coming by again. You see, I can sit down and listen to you. I come in 1 minute. I come in, Lofa. You come and I'm not one person you want to hit and I let you go unpunished. But you say we pretend to be political. You know what kind of that I said, Jenna, to you. I say what I said, and it's again right. So you think you can one believe that you will pay by your paper. You can one study. And
don't pay back. I don't study
force again, and you know myself more force than you think.
Pewee,
but
there's no pay back. What I'm trying to say.
Yes, what I would say to you. I don't have to do kind of a defined political threat on the ground. But what I would say to you, with the current assessment of unfolding events in the region, it is important. And let me go back to it now. You pushing me now to say some things to you.
Yeah.
With the current unfolding conditions in the region of terrorist activities in the Horn of Africa, it is important. Basically, places like Mali and other things in the Horn of Africa, right? In our area, in our sub-Saharan region, it is important. You may never understand what the potential threat will be to a potential leaders in Africa. Even most of the ECOWAS Security Summit, right? They will alarm level with. Why do you think sometimes the U.S. embassy will give something? They say their staff should not travel more than 15 miles outside the city limit of Monrovia. Why do you think it's
because they have made that determination and they have conclusively agreed that the risk factor here is based on this. Excellent. But you are simply telling us that considering, I can sit here and tell you, Pewee, to be honest with you, considering where we find ourselves today in Liberia, President Boyka can walk the streets, okay, and not a single person will even bother this or this elderly statesman.
Do you believe that?
I truly believe that.
Let me inform us on something. Do you remember? I come in 1 minute, Lofa. Do you remember when Boyka took the presidency? When he was heckled by somebody that keep on behind him and helping him.
Okay, right.
You saw that?
Right. Okay.
That was a potential threat.
That's the okay.
It was a supporter.
Okay, a supporter who came to embrace the president. Okay.
Embrace him.
I have the video and I have it archived. If you watch the video,
can you embrace somebody from the back and hug them that way?
Analysis. He came because again he came from the back and he hugged him and turned. Okay, he was turned around. He did nothing further until the security took him away.
No, the security was just on him as he held the president. The security was on him. But he held the president from the back.
Took him away. But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
If he came with the bad intention, he had all the room in the world.
No. The security was very fast in getting him.
Let's
agree that he has something on him.
You're waiting to go to my archive now.
You are waiting to hug the president and do something, right?
Okay. But you know what? I said that defeats your argument, though.
No, I'm just bringing that out.
Right, but if you using that, okay, to contribute to the conversation, then you have defeated your point of contention because you're saying that the country is so risky that President Barker need to purchase a bulletproof vehicle.
No. You see, don't get me wrong. I didn't say the country is so risky. I didn't say that.
That's why I asked you to quantify.
Do you know the reason why we okay, come on 1 minute. If you believe, do you know the reason why we even give armed men if we have a special unit to protect the president?
There is a reason. Yes, because
why do you think the
president needs to be protected from against the president. But that's why I asked you to quantify the risk factor.
I said I want to give it. I want to quantify.
All right, Josh.
Yeah, we have to just move on this, man. I don't
all right, guys, can we
move on this one, right? But I want to quantify this person. But what I would say to you and say to our wonderful listeners, or this August, this platform now, is that the presidency is an institution that should be protected, very well protected, and those protection mechanisms will have to be a mixture of everything: the presidential vehicle, the presidential guys, the roadmap to protection, and all of those coverage protection mechanisms will have to be deployed. So that's part of the process we engage with, and those are things that we have to time be. It's not going to be about this president or the past president or the future president. It's a continuation of our protection bureaucracy in the country. And those things are going to continue. Nothing going to change it. It may even increase back to back in terms of which of the presidents are coming. There will be a president that will come and got a lot of other lifestyle that the protection scale will increase. If the president got a lot of area, he have to visit a lot of homes, a lot of areas in different part of the country got his farm. There will be a protection process for his farm. There'll be protection process to other areas. So those coverage process will come with time, Dr. Peabody. And I think it is important. The amount is not that amount we call, but the amount is reasonable in my thinking. We time to time did those things, and we have to have those kind of vehicles and change. So it's not going to be just one or two vehicles. Change of vehicles that are going to be in the fleet of the current presidency.
I think Liberia is just wasteful. If you look at the car, the police director drive, look at the car, other people driving in that country, it's just a wasteful country.
Yeah, with other thing I would say, yeah, there's no need of doing that. But the president, we need to get
the police director, other people, the cars they're driving in that country.
We now want to make mistake. Anybody made that council announcement when we won't fire the president vehicle. If not bulletproof, then we no problem. No,
well,
we don't make that mistake. We will go for the bulletproof vehicle.
We'll pray that nothing like that happen.
We all pray, but we need to do prevention is better than what?
Yeah, but that prevention is better than prevention better than waste. It's better than waste.
So you want
so Peabody.
Oh God, yeah, you go ahead, Benjamin.
So I would say this again to my brother Pewee. Pewee, Liberia is a very poor country. And this whole thing about security, we are missing the biggest point. The biggest security threat is not the presidency. It's not. The biggest security threat in our country is the youth who are not being educated. And we will have a lost generation.
I agree to that.
We'll have a very lost generation. Everybody now who are in their 30s now in Liberia just add 10 more years to them, and almost about 10 of those kids are not in school. You think when all of you these politicians now, when you guys time to be over, who is going to replace you to replace you guys when there's nobody that we have there. Look at the children that are graduating from high school in our country. Look at the output. It's sad. And you will not be ashamed to say, let's put money in education. And you telling me that we need to put money for. And I'm not against protecting the president, but the amount of money. The guy in Burkina Faso, he's a military guy. His race, he has one of the highest rates in Africa because he removed somebody forcibly to be in power.
You're talking about Burkina Faso now, but people that are just straightforward in thinking or one-sided way in thinking, they will come talk about discussing the beast. But you discussing Burkina Faso.
Right.
But we cannot diversify the conversation. Should that be stuck
the guy in Burkina Faso,
it's a sad thing, and I'm being
the guy in Burkina Faso, he's riding a car that costs less than $100,000. So what does that tell me is that the guy knows that, look, I'm at risk. But guess what? If I can satisfy my people, if I can do what the people want, there will be less persons coming after me to wanting to kill me. Because when people have been failed, when people have been taken care of, who will want to kill you? The only reason why your rates will be high, like Liberia, is because you're not taking care of the people. That's why everybody will want to be a politician. So I think we have to change a little bit and start putting some of the money down into education and other stuff. Thank you.
Welcome, Anthony. We got about 22 more minutes. The guys in studio just hit it, so they gotta go. It's after 12. But let's make wise use of that 22 minutes we have. We'll start with Anthony. Anthony kind of chime in. You've been following the conversation, so we just wanted to chime in here. You unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. Absolutely, I've been following the show. I even commented as well. But good evening to all the panelists and good evening to our followers. Listen, I want to say thank you, Ben, for making that point earlier when we're talking about national budget and all of that. And I heard, people try to compare the defense budget of the United States to Liberia, a country with $34 trillion national budget.
Nobody, no correction, please, and will not be that. Nobody compared no defense budget with Liberia. Nobody did that on the show.
All right.
Nobody did that council on the show. Don't listen.
If I say something that is not in line, you will have your opportunity.
No. I just want to make this. I don't know before you can start. The mispremise you try to start. I just want to foundation.
Let me say this. If I say something that is not in line with what you said, you will have the time to.
Yeah, go ahead. I just want to make that. Nobody did that.
It's not a hard thing to do.
Nobody said
you will have the time to correct that. However, the president can have a bulletproof vehicle or armored vehicle, as we call it. It does not necessarily has to be $500,000 cost. Let us be frank here. That are $85,000, $90,000, $100,000, $120,000 armored vehicle that a president can have within his fleet or his motorcade. Liberia is a country where a police officer goes to work and after a whole 30 days get paid $150 US. Then the president armored vehicle costs $500,000. More money than what goes into other sector of government for the whole year. Think about that, right? This same man was vice president for 12 years and went into opposition for 6 years. He didn't have that kind of protection. And nobody bothered him in the same country that he said for 12 years. Nobody bothered him. We have our former president, two former presidents, moving around freely in the country. Nobody bothered him there. Tactically, if Liberia is to protect or provide security for all 5 million people, tactically speaking, we need at least 50,000 men and women in uniform to at least balance the security threat. We have less than 10,000 men and women in uniform today as we speak. And the country is moving by the grace of God. Liberians are not there to threaten their leaders. If not, the kind of abject poverty their leaders have projected upon them, they would have done something, out of the ordinary. But they chose not to do so. So it's not an excuse. If this president is given another 10 years, nothing will change. Because this president don't have anything in his tent to change Liberia. Why? This very year, they launched an agricultural program for 5 to 6 years that quote unquote will alleviate or reduce the rice input by 75%. Does the national budget reflect that approach? No. They brought in yellow machine, they didn't follow processes. They violated compliance procedural process. Would that serve the people? No. Violating tenure position. So if you try to evaluate this man 40 years in ministry, in government, what can you beat your chest about? You can't find anything you can beat your chest about. So what do you think that his presidency will have brought in any kind of significant change? I can say it tonight that this president will not do anything better than George Weah, unfortunately, because his behavior have shown up on day one and up to 11 months into office, same old, same old. Mr. Cummings was bringing a better approach to the circumstances. And many of them will let you talk down on Mr. Cummings, all because they want the Liberian people to remain in abject poverty. Their goal is not to provide solution. Their goal is to keep the people where they are, keep them the way they are, and forget about them until the next electoral cycle. None of them have a plan to move Liberia forward. Because if you address national security and the rule of law, and the people have no food to eat, the people don't receive their salary on time, they don't have reliable electricity, how do you address the issue? Liberia's problem today is electricity. Ma Musu, Ma Mata, Ma Sarah. They don't want working government, but they can afford to tie a little kuwe and make their living. They can tie a sour milk and make their living. They can do something with their life without being involved with any governmental affairs. But it requires reliable source to power. You cannot put a data center in Liberia, but you don't have reliable source of power. You can't have a call center in Liberia when you don't have reliable. Every sector of government needs reliable source of power. Even the rule of law, how would it function when there is no reliable source of power? And it is that reliable source of power Cummings was presenting to the Liberian people. It is that reliable source of power Cummings was willing to introduce to the country. It is that reliable source of power that agriculture, education, healthcare will have blossomed in Liberia. So, my people, the only way we can change Liberia unless you have the rightful mind and the skill set to roll out those plans. If not, these same recycle politicians, they did political science, they get public administration, all of that different thing. We've been having people with PhD in public administration. Jack, they have not moved forward. What will move Liberia forward is technical craft. People who have the skill set to move government from one end to another. People who have the innovation and the desire to make it work. Now people who see government as a gold mine to become rich. We saw today Apeton going for confirmation hearing to be an ambassador in Japan. The mysterious Apeton that nobody heard about, like third place in the election. He was at the Senate today for confirmation hearing as an ambassador destined to Japan. Are you back one time?
All right, guys. Anthony, you hit some strong point right there. I mean, the fact is, whether we like it or not, Sylvester did not dispute the fact that this government has screwed up in the first 11 months. That there was a complete waste. He did not. But here's it. What I'm really concerned about. A man who was so much concerned about the people, so much concerned about Liberia changing, so much working in government 40 years. I mean, we saw the track of this man. We saw President Boakai destabilizing the CPP and acted like he didn't know what was going on, went to court, testify against Mr. Cummins, and we saw everything. Right now we see the mess that we've seen in the House, that he's acting like. My concern is this man have been president for 11 months. He have not had one press conference to address the nation. Every day Kuda Fofana struggled to come up with stories and things like that. This man has sat down in office for months, and people lied to him, and coming out of your own blanket to think, to just think for yourself. You said that a lot to you talking to Elon Musk. They lied to you about what the assets recovery doesn't exist no more. It's dead upon arrival. You sat there the other day and people brought this fake scholarship programs came to you, your foreign minister. They all lied. The president had been to America 1 or 2 times and no deliverable, nothing. He had not met with any major State Department officials, stuff like that. Nothing for the Liberian people. So Liberia, I don't know what will become of Liberia or what's going to happen, but it has been proven that President Barker just have a tough time. The heart may be good, but he just don't have the energy to do it. Just don't have the energy to do it. That's why people are just doing their own thing. You put crook like Kofi Woo's them behind, calling a third security advisor, presidential advisor, whatever, they're sitting there. He bringing a lot of his old friends. These old people who can't even look beyond or know anything to do. Those that are put down here appointing as ambassador to other country to represent Liberia out there. What do you expect Liberia to gain? What do you expect Liberia to move forward? Well, you bringing people from that work in government for Central Bank who was there almost 40 or 50 years ago and appointing them in position again. It seems that he doesn't even have an interest for the young generation. This young generation that should be the one, that should be the driving factor to development in Liberia. He had turned on them and he bringing a bunch of old people in who just took to get their retirement and stuff like that because nothing will come out of this. So it's really sad, but I want to give Sylvester an opportunity to come in. Ben, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the only reason why Mr. Barker he's not using young people is because he cannot relate to young people. That's the reason why he is employing these older folks. Because with these older folks, they can bond, they can speak the same language, they can understand one another. But if you have Barker and myself sitting down to talk about 21st century technology, he will be he will be completely out of order. So for him to fit in, he have to bring people that understand the language that he speaks. That's the only reason why he is employing these older people. That's the only reason I think he's doing that. Thank you.
Sylvester.
Yes. Yeah, but again, I don't, we just basically will be going in cycle on this process. And today's debate of this topic tonight, I was to focus on basically the question we're trying to go around the process that's unfolding at the National Legislature vis-a-vis the House of Representatives. But we thought to not pay more attention to it tonight because it's been now in the court, and we didn't want to be seen there to be what we refer to as pre-DDC, to go into something that the court is spending some authority on. But then we diverted, or we pivoted to this discussion about what we would term as to all of the 10, 11 months almost into this administration. And I'm very clear. And that's why sometimes I hate going in cycle in this kind of a discussion. There have been a lot of missed opportunity. There have been a lot of issues this government should have done that they didn't do. They've allowed bad public relations, a lot of situations, the ghetto mission process, it didn't materialize. It would have been all across. It didn't materialize. And again, I'm very quick to not be carried away that this is just the first year of the administration moving into it. So for me, I would really be extremely disappointed if we were to be around December of next year and having the same kind of a conversation. Then I would not believe that there's no vision to push up. One would say that there's other exogenous factor that may have pulled them back to not do certain things. So we give the time. But for now, a lot of terrible outcome from what have happened. A lot of slippages, and that is not acceptable when you want to be very forceful in having some major process here, making serious campaign commitment. You have to go in line with those things. Those things have to be in line with that your deliverables. If those things are not in line and you start to make step, it's a concerning proposition if we always have to sit and lock into those things. So that's my whole belief about this, Dr. Peabody. We do have hope, and that's one of the reasons why I said. And sometimes it's not all the gloom of it. I want to believe, I learned this sometimes from the Nigerian and the Ghanaians. There are a lot of bitter situations unfold back home in their country, but whenever they are, they see the hopeful aspect of it. They will discuss it now. They get that debate can also be out. The last time in a crowd, when they see one of the local television, you'll see the debate, a very combative debate from the both sides, right? But again, what we can see, we hope for the best of the country. What is unfolding is unfortunate. We don't want to see these things happen. We want the rule of law to be adhered to. We want a major development to unfold in the country. So my hope now is that we have someone the president just brought in as Minister of Finance and Development Planning. And I said this, I will hope that Mr. Garguah is an extraordinarily smart man. I will hope that he would deploy all of the necessary strategy. He do have the bullet puppet to his authority because he served the budget, he served the ministry himself, he served in other major area, he went international, he served. So I want to believe this time around, maybe there will be some fresh and new ideas coming to bear to ensure that we can project a lot of positivity on behalf of the country. A lot of things can unfold here. That's what I hope for the people of Liberia, because trust me, I wouldn't be a kind of a very anti-productive person to think that I pray to the government to not succeed. No, I won't do that. Because if the success story on behalf of the government, for instance, if I was to land in Monrovia, that trip to the country, by the grace of God, if I were to land and see a paved road from the airport back to my house, I would feel very, very, very much happy. I would feel proud that my country is that direction, right? It would be a very good development. If I were to move back and see a road pavement from the Pinsway from Banga City all the way into Zozo, or moving to Banga Menikano, I would be very pleased. If I were to see the same thing from Buchanan, moving into Sestos, River says, and into Sano County, moving to connect the Southeast, I'll be very pleased. If I were to move now beyond what the Guar administration did from Ganta to Sanikule, moving towards that end, connecting the country. For instance, Broadway now to Boporu City. That's a connection. These are roads to the talk process about connecting our country. These are things that we have go to bed and pray for the country to move on. But we started on a very terrible premise, and I hope the basis of what started this issue hasn't been a good process for the politics of our country. We always sound as politicians today. We all do those things that the Peabody to gain political favor here, to get some attention. But beyond the attention seeking, what is our personal appeal to God for the country? How patriotic we are. The level of patriotism and the level of commitment to the country is important. So that's why folks there was a debate some time ago we had at the University of Liberia talking about a tribalist and a nationalist. And I came up with a debate there, and I stood by that. A very true tribalist can be a very committed and patriotic nationalist. So people talk about tribalism because it is something that can be ingrained into you. It's a tendency. If you try to get committed, is that you be committed to yourself. No one can undermine you. You tend to verse for yourself. So that's a kind of thinking. That's a broad thinking, right? If you are committed tribalist, you are a strong nationalist. That's a philosophical debate. It's not a debate that can, because that sense of the trap you from. If you commit yourself to that line, say, I'm committed to this. Nationalism will be also in you on that. So
in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes.
You see, people that
I need 30 seconds after Ben to bump when he can.
People that don't understand the way we debate things, they will be running, and that's like I can't start again.
In 5 minutes, I'd like to get everybody at least
a philosophical
1.5 minutes.
And then y'all worry about it again.
Okay,
go ahead, man.
Ben, go ahead. We get 1.5 minutes.
1.5 minutes.
That's going 5 minutes. The radio station should be shutting down.
Are you just in the business of stirring out these kind of bro? Don't be doing the kind of things. You know the word travel is what it comes with. That word is heavily loaded. There's no
nationalist. To be a nationalist is not loaded.
No, wait. I'm using travel in the context of Liberia. Pewee, when you take
no. You see it now. You see where now? I hear you. I'm not talking the context of Liberia. I'm saying I'm talking the context. I'm talking a good travel.
Liberia.
Now, do you know? I come in. Go and define after the show. Go first and foremost define travels. Why
are you a traveler? Okay.
It's not from the just go and define travel. Define the meaning of that. Travelist. Then you will call me. I'll call me and tell me, oh, see, I see where you're coming from. I'm not talking about the
we got 3 more minutes. The guys ain't gotta go in studio, guys. That's
basically we need to go. Last question.
That's why I'm closing. 3 more minutes. We gotta go.
Are you a travelist?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
You asking if I'm a travelist?
Yeah.
In terms of what? I'm a travelist in terms of my belief. I'm a travelist in terms of my belief or my commitment to my country. Yes, I'm a travelist.
All right. Okay, yes. Thank you. I'm done.
Yes.
Go ahead, Anthony. We got 2 more minutes.
I hope you understand the meaning of the word travelist, not vis-a-vis my data that I speak. No. And I want you to go back and define and check on the meaning of that.
I understand the word travelist.
So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not traveling from the perspective.
I know the connotation that word comes with. To be a travelist.
So I'm a strong travelist. Are you one too? Are you one?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. So
all right, I respect my tradition, but I'm not a travelist.
So let me tell you.
You respect your, but you're not a travelist. You respect the tradition, but you're not a travelist.
Let me tell you the difference between a travelist and someone who respect their tribe. A travelist, whether wrong or right, you will still defend that position as a travelist. A person who loves their tribe can still tell their tribe that
when it comes to my country, I'm a travelist.
Travelers, they don't change. They are always negative about
when it comes to defending my country, I'm a travelist. That's what I said to you just on the show. When it comes to defending my country, I'm a travelist. Right? And there we always fall prey because we have too much divided agenda towards the country. Everyone will believe that they want to be themselves. No.
But when I discuss Liberia, we discuss country, not tribe.
All right, guys. We gotta go.
Relating to the country, I'm a travelist.
You gotta go.
Okay.
Yes.
Ben, leave Sylvester alone. You're gonna move the goalposts on a particular issue.
All right, closer.
I am a nationalist.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I respect my culture and tradition.
No, you're a nationalist.
That's a big difference between patriotism and travelist. Or travelistic beliefs. So, listen, there is why I want to leave with the Liberian people tonight.
A strong travelist is patriotic citizen.
It's very simple. There is no government official price in the market or non-government official price in the market. Everyone who goes to the market pays the same price. The only difference, other people have the means and other people don't. Liberians, stop sitting there and allowing government officials to take advantage of you. All of these things will not stop unless we, the people, stand up for our rights. We, the people, to hold our elected official accountable. We, the people, to make them work in our interest. Politics is interest of the people, not interest of the person in position, but it's interest of the people you represent.
Amen.
That's the definition of politics. So if Liberia would sit and allow this administration to go the way it's going, because Joseph Boakai, His Excellency, has no forward march. And here is a question you have to answer, Mr. Pewee. What is the arrest agenda policy. It has been 11 months.
All right, guys, we
But
got
how
to
you how you want to post a dread policy to me?
guys. We gotta go. We gotta go, guys. Sylvester, yeah. Yeah, let's continue the conversation tomorrow, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. We'll try to get back on again tomorrow. We know it's Thanksgiving, but we'll try to do something shortly. Let me say, guys, our Cash App is still there. We're trying to raise some help for the guys in Liberia. It's about 1 o'clock now. They got to go home. We have to make special arrangement to go home. So please check the Cash App. We want to thank somebody today who donated $25, and some folks donated yesterday. We want to thank all of you that made the donation, and it will be on until close to Christmas. So if you want to, just give. But guys, it's been great. Been a great show, and we look forward to another time, man. Anthony, come early. Let's do this thing. Come early.
Yeah. What's it mean? Tomalin sent me the link earlier today, but I was away. I wasn't home.
I know, but let's do that tomorrow. But guys, take over from here, and then we will see you guys again. Don't forget the Zelle and the Cash App. We will appreciate your gift to us, your continued gift to the closing argument. So we want to thank us, Sophie Swa, Hannah Famule, and Joma Jala for their donation. Guys, hold it down. We'll see you tomorrow. And God bless. May God continue to save the nation of Liberia. All right, guys.